Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, to the least professional show on the internet. What is this? What do we have here? What is
And
that
the
hat?
Oscar goes to Chris Coles for Best Direction and Acting.
Yeah, that's a good hat, man. That's a nice hat. I want that hat. I want something. You know, because I'm not actually in the country right now.
Do you notice something, Chris? There's no 47th or 45 on it.
No, I know. Just in case. I'm not in the country right now, and I've been trying to find Trump gear or even America gear for like a couple of months. Like just going to different places, I can't find anything. I don't know why. I mean, there's Americans that travel. I don't know. They need to produce more USA stuff, and also other people like the USA. They like our American flag. It's cool. My friend went back to Korea, and she came back and she brought me these delicious Korean snacks. I don't know what they are, but I'm looking forward to trying them. Anyway, that's random. But also went out to a nightclub last night because it was my other friend's birthday. I do not understand the club thing, man. I've never, even when I was a kid, I didn't understand. I mean, you used to do promotion. You used to promote clubs in Miami.
Yeah.
And I was in Miami, and I would go to nightclubs, of course, in Miami. And oh my God, I always hated them. I hate them to this day. I'm like, and these clubs are crazy, man. Like the clubs out here are just, they're crazy.
Yeah.
I don't get it personally. I don't get it. I do not want drunk guys, sweaty drunk guys rubbing up against me. Honestly, like I'm like, dude, you have like 3 feet. Why are you don't need to do that. Like,
you sent me. Chris sent me a video of the experience of the club, and the first thing I noticed, I was like, "What is going on here? This is like a sausage fest." Chris, get out of there.
Yeah, too many dicks on the dance floor. Let me tell you. Anyway, so that's neither here nor there.
That's very toxic. We're very toxic right now. Toxic masculinity right now.
I was so miserable. I think one of the girls I was with, like that I was out with, I think she actually became miserable too, just because I was so like I was not happy, and she was dancing and everything, and then she sees me and she's like, "Yeah, this is not actually fun." I think a lot of people are sort of tricked into thinking nightclubs are fun when they're really not. Like they're just like, oh, everybody thinks they're fun. I mean, I think some people actually like them, but I think most people just go, everybody else thinks they're fun. This must be fun, right? No, it's terrible. Anyway, maybe if you're like really messed, if you're like on some kind of hard drugs or something. But anyway.
I think that's really what it is. Like you got to be on some kind of chemicals to really enjoy it. Because like you said, I did the club thing in Miami Beach, because I had an older sister and she knew everybody. So I was always in and out of clubs and I've been getting into clubs since I was like 15. But one day I was like, there's got to be a way to make money off of this, because I really don't care for this, but there's got to be a way to make money off these people. Right. And that's what we ended up getting a job in one of the clubs, and we actually made pretty good money. So yeah.
Also, I have a buddy. So there's a girl that is like one of my neighbors. Is her birthday, so we go to this really nice restaurant, probably the nicest restaurant in town actually. And for some reason she invited my buddy, which I don't really understand why she invited him, because she doesn't know him very well, but for whatever reason, she invited my buddy. So my buddy is showing up, and he calls these two girls. And they show up, but these are like very beautiful, like plastic surgery club girls, like super skinny.
Trout pout.
I don't know what that means, but
bubble lips.
I'm like, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, everything's fake. Like everything's fake. And and the girls that I'm with are normal girls. I mean, they're just like, normal girls. They like to go to clubs, which is why I went to the clubs, but they're relatively normal girls. They're cute girls, but they're normal people. And so it was really weird for them, I think. And it was just so awkward. Like, why would you go to one girl's birthday and bring other girls to her birthday who are like, hot party girls? It was just weird. The whole thing was, I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Why would you do that? And like, at least one of the girls was very unhappy about this. She was just like, why did he bring those girls? She was just very annoyed with them. And I don't know. It was a weird night, but
You're living in a Twilight Zone.
I think I am. And that brings us, I've been kind of biding my time waiting for the numbers to increase because
Trump is, right?
I do. What's that?
Trump's having a, whatchamacallit, one of those town hall meetings, I think.
I don't know what the heck you're talking about.
Trump is having a town hall meeting, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. That's not what I'm getting to. I don't know why you interjected with that.
Oh, but
that was weird. Oh, is that why you think we're not getting any numbers?
Yes.
I see. Okay.
Yes. See, I feel like we're twins, that you already read my mind when I say something, and you see, you got it though.
Words,
but you got it. You got it though.
Get it eventually. Yeah. Okay. I understand. So, but the reason I am biding my time, waiting for the numbers to increase, is because I wanted to talk to you guys about a video that I just made, which maybe you've seen it. You probably have seen it. Maybe you haven't. But this is, I would say, this is my best video I've ever made. This is way better than the AI videos. It's just a good video. The cinematography is good. The joke is good. It's a fun video. So I'm not going to give the ending away. I will play a little bit of this for you guys here. Wait, what am I doing? I opened up the wrong thing. God dang it. Now everything's just, there we go. All right. Present. Share screen. You know what I'm presenting, correct? Yeah, of course.
All the way. But then Kamala started.
I don't know why that started playing already. All right. I'm going to play this. This is
wait. What? Make it wide.
Okay,
full
I'll make
screen.
it wide. This is why I became a white dude for Harris. Why I became a white dude for Harris. Let's play this.
I used to be a Trump guy. I was MAGA all the way. But then Kamala started to make a lot of sense.
Under a Harris administration, what would the major changes be and what would stay the same?
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm obviously not Joe Biden, but also I'm not Donald Trump.
I realized for the first time that Kamala was right. She's not Joe Biden. And she's also not Trump. So I started to pay attention.
I make myself laugh. Anyway, I'm not going to play too much more.
Oh man, it's guys, go watch it because the ending is like the best ending ever.
I'm glad you think so. I was a little worried about that ending.
No, I love it.
I'm not going to give it away. I'm not going to give it away, but I was because it's a little bit almost out of left field. I felt like the ad had a certain vibe to it, and then it just ends in this like really weird way that you don't expect. But I think it works. I think it works, especially if you have classic TV.
But I think you have a series here. When everybody watches a full video, like, please send him a message saying you should make this into a full series. Just a whole bunch of episodes.
Not weaponize the chat like that.
Oh, I'm weaponizing it. Since I can't look at it, I might as well weaponize it, right?
Exactly. I love you, man. Oh, hold on. We got a super chat here. All right, hold on a second. Wait, why can't I switch over to the super chats? What's going on? Oh, we got a few. All right, let's see here. Oh, there we go. Starred. Got it. All right, this is from Steel Fang. Steel Fang says, well done on your latest video. What is your favorite Twilight Zone episode? Hey, whoa. Mm-hmm. You're giving it away, man. I'll tell you, I have two.
He's a whatchamacallit? He's a what you call it? Spoil. He spoiled the whole thing. He's one of those people that just spoils the damn movie. Spoiler
alert. Well, okay, I'll tell you what. There are two Twilight Zone episodes that I like that are my all-time favorite. One that I would say that my ultimate is called All the Time in the World. I think that's what it's called. All the Time in the World. Might be called Time Enough at Last. But I think it's All the Time in the World. Or maybe it might be Time Enough at Last. Anyway, the point is, it's the one where there's this guy with really thick glasses, played by the dude that played the Penguin, actually. And he's running around. He loves to read. And his wife, she doesn't let him read.
Yeah.
So one day he goes down to the basement of his work because his boss also doesn't like him to read. But on his lunch break, he goes down to the vault because he works at a bank. So he goes down to the vault, locks himself in the vault, and starts reading a book. Oh man, you guys, this is the greatest story. I mean, it's amazing. And then there's another one called One for the Angels. One for the Angels. Also an excellent episode. I think it might even be like the second episode of the show ever. It was amazing. You guys check that out. If you have never seen the Twilight Zone, which I'm sure probably everybody that watches this show has seen it, but if you've never seen it, it really shaped how I write fiction. I used to write fiction a certain way based on like Lord of the Rings, Chronicles of Narnia, this kind of the hero's journey type stories. And then I saw the Twilight Zone, and I saw a completely different way of writing, and it completely changed how I write everything. I mean, I still like the Narnia books and the Tolkien. I love all that stuff too, but Twilight Zone really, really informed my writing style growing up. You're reading the chat again?
Yeah. No. Time Enough at Last. A bank teller obsessed with reading finds himself alone after a nuclear blast. Yeah, that one's good. It's
good, right?
That one's a really good one.
Unbelievable. Okay. Huff Power Concrete and Sunfrog Crawfish Company says, hello, boring no profanity Huff Power is here. The man's got jokes. Even if he's not swearing, he's got jokes.
What a bish.
And Steel Fang has jumped in and said, make it a series.
Thank you. I agree.
I hate you all. Okay. I mean, look, I'm not saying I can't turn it into a series. Oh, by the way, I got a shout out. Rebecca. So I'm hanging out with this girl, Rebecca, out here. And I was like, because she's a younger girl. She's got a degree in communication. She's from Hungary, actually. It's funny, actually, the night I met her, or maybe the second or third time I ran into her, because Gorka, his parents are from Hungary, and Gorka speaks Hungarian. So I'm texting him. I'm like, hey, there's this Hungarian girl here. And he goes, give her the phone. So I called him and gave her the phone, and they talked for like 20 minutes. It was great. In Hungarian, it was great. She's like, he speaks Hungarian really well. But I don't, what's her full name? Hold on a second. But anyway, so this girl has a communications degree. Rebecca Antonia Szabo. That's her name. She's a Hungarian girl. And I text her and I'm like, hey, I want to do a video, but I need somebody to hold the camera because I'm going to be in the video. Right. So, because I wanted to be, I can act essentially. Like, it's kind of funny, actually. When I started doing short films and everything like this, I genuinely thought anyone could act. I thought, I'll just get one of my friends to act and I'll throw them in and they'll, and direct them.
How I wish it was that easy.
I know. And I would put my friends in these little short films. I mean, I was like 13 years old. I'm throwing everybody in the film. I'm like, okay, you say this and you say this and blah, 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 blah. And everyone is really tacky. And that sometimes when you're a kid and you're doing a little short film, the tackiness kind of works and it's kind of funny. But when you're trying to make something that is convincing or compelling or whatever, you need somebody who can act for real, Yeah. And I remember I was trying to make this film in college and I got my buddy to try to act in it. And maybe for a month, I was trying to get this guy to act. I could not get a performance out of this guy. I don't know what was wrong with him. He could not act. Drove me crazy. And I realized, go on.
I was gonna say that's why when people tell me anybody can act, that's the easiest thing. And when I hear comments like that about actors, I'm like, it gives me kind of that's not true. Not true.
Well, because I think if you can act, you kind of think everyone can act, because why would you not be able to act?
but it's not even about acting though. When it comes to movies and film and on screen and with cameras, it's really not about acting, because you can have a really great play actor and he's really bad in front of the camera. It's screen presence. That's true. Is what counts.
It's screen presence. It's a naturalness in front of the camera is really what it boils down to, and an authenticity. And some people just cannot be authentic in front of the camera. They can't, the movements, whatever it is, it's all artificial. The camera will change anybody. I mean, even the best actor, the camera sort of changes how they act and who they are. But if you can do that in a way that sort of mimics natural reality, you're a decent actor. But I thought everybody could do that, right?
No, yeah.
So,
yeah.
But then,
you have it. You can do it.
yeah, I can do it. So I thought everybody could do it. So I don't know. I started putting myself in a lot of my stuff, which I thought was really kind of narcissistic. But when you kind of end up doing that out of necessity if you don't have a good actor. So that just is what informed that. And you know, it's easy for me to get a good actor because I'm here already. So what I did is I got this girl and I was like, hey, just let's use, you know, this lens and let's shoot it in this way and everything. And she's like, well, the sun's behind you, so you're kind of in a silhouette. And I'm like, no, it's good. I want this lens flare. And you know, we got this lens flare. And she's like, Chris, this is the greatest shot I've ever seen. She's like, I think I'm a genius cinematographer. I'm like, I think you are. You know.
Yes. That, you're going to be my cinematographer from now on. Yes,
exactly. And she got really excited and she started shooting. I literally just caught a mosquito in my bare hands. They're kind of slow, if I'm honest, but she's so now she's kind of excited about it. And you know, I started letting her choose the angles a little bit and choose some of the shots, and you know, just as long as she got the focus right in the light, you know, and the you know, the exposure correct, it was like she was good. And she started doing a really good job, and we were kind of working together, and yeah, she was great, man. So Rebecca, I can't thank you enough for helping me out with the the video. But yeah, I was really, really happy with how it turned out, because it was exactly, you know, sometimes you envision something and you're like, I want it to be this way. And you go ahead and you shoot it and you cut it together and everything, and it's nothing like your
yeah.
This was pretty close, man. This was pretty close to how I envisioned doing
that's
it.
Awesome. That's one of my problems.
Shocked.
Like everything I make never comes out like the way it was in my head. Not that it came out bad. It's just, for me, it's a disappointment.
Well, it never comes.
Oh my God,
comes out exactly. You know, you have to have in your mind. You have to have some willingness to like change it up a little here and there, and you know, you never know it's never going to come out exactly.
So,
but
some scenes, it's like in my head it was so awesome, but then when I see it, it's like, this is crap. I got to redo this or cut it out or something, because.
And every once in a while, you think of something, you're like, I think you know this would be good, and you shoot it, and you're like, whoa, this is even better than I thought. I don't know, because like the angle, the shot's really good, or the acting was really good, or something, and you're like, whoa, it's even better.
Or
how this came out.
Yeah, for a cinematographer, it's like you shoot something and you see it and it's like, oh, this is nice. But then when you see it on screen, like it's like, whoa, it really was nice.
Yeah. That's kind of how this turned out. This turned out, every shot turned out better than I thought. The concept was extremely simple. The concept was, what if a Trump supporter was actually convinced by the idiotic attempts from Kamala Harris to convince us all that she's qualified to be president, which I thought, I mean, who would be convinced by this stuff? Like, you know how they're like, oh, you know, white dudes for Harris, and at one point I had this whole segment in this new film. I had this whole segment where I don't know if you guys remember this, but after she went to the border, she had this press conference type thing where I gave a kind of a speech to the media or something, and it was all about the border, and she was trying to sound very presidential. She was trying to sound very commander-in-chief, and she had on this sort of like military style jacket, and she had on like a Tiffany chain necklace, but it was a chain, you know, and she had the text behind her. So there's this big text, and it said, like, I don't remember what it said, but it was all in military style font. And there was military style music playing, like dun 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 dun. And I just thought, like, what is she really trying to pretend that she's like commander in chief, that she's going to be this great, you know, military leader? Like, does anybody really buy this? And what was weird was I expected all of the political pundits,
white men for Harris.
White men for Harris. So white dudes. So I expected the next day all the political pundits to go, what is Kamala Harris doing? She's trying to rebrand herself as this military type leader. This is ridiculous. This is such a joke. Nobody seemed to even notice. That's how bad she was at trying to pretend she was a good military leader. Nobody even seemed to notice that she did it. That was the crazy thing. I almost did a video breaking down all the things that seemed like military to try to show what she was trying to do, because people didn't even seem to notice this. That's how bad it was. But yeah, she's been trying to rebrand herself for a long time to seem attractive to men. I mean, that's what they're doing with this Tim Waltz garbage, where he keeps going out going like, I fixed my carburetor on my super sweet old fashioned car.
Yeah. With spotless clean hands.
And he's like, let's go bird hunting.
Oh,
Guys,
we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about all that stuff. But they got this real big push to say, and they got this whole thing where her husband is like the new example of what true masculinity is. And then all this crap comes out about how he used to beat his ex-girlfriend and he cheated on his ex-wife, and he's just an absolute piece of human garbage. They're like, you're the new masculinity, right? Yeah, the wife beater type. What an actual.
Hey, everybody, meet the new boss. Same as the old boss.
Yeah. Eric Wade has jumped in with $20. Thank you, Eric Wade. And he says, last Tuesday, early voting opened in Arizona, and I gleefully voted for Trump, Carrie Lake, Crane, who I don't know who Crane is, but that's awesome, I presume, and Republicans down the ballot, just as I've done since 1980 when I cast my first ever vote for Ronald Reagan.
Nice. Nice.
We salute you, Eric Wade. You are a gentleman. Respect. Respect.
And a true patriot.
True patriot. That's what you are. So, anyway, so I had this very simple idea, like, because I was asking a question. I think I was talking to my brother or something. I'm like, who is falling for this? Is there anyone, like, who do they think they're convincing with this crap? That like Tim Waltz is a real man and Doug Emhoff is like a real, the new face of masculinity, and Kamala Harris is a real tough girl that's going to just really be the best commander in chief ever and lead our armies. And nobody believes this. Nobody. But I thought, what if somebody did?
Oh, I'm sure.
Really
well,
that's
a real
really,
man, I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think there's none. Zero.
Well, men, I don't think men are convinced by it. The reasons that some men are voting for Kamala Harris are irrelevant to her propaganda crap that she's doing. But I thought, what if somebody was actually convinced by her BS attempts to persuade them, and they're like, actually, yeah, I see it now.
Yeah.
But that kind of evolved into just this idea of somebody listening to like the dumbest crap that Kamala Harris says and going, I think yes. So that was just a funny idea. And then I just thought, well, I'll just do that with a lot of the dumb stuff she says, and we'll make that into a video. And I thought it would be better to do it as like a really high quality, almost like a campaign ad, to make it look super professional. Because I just thought that would contrast nicely with the joke. That's why I did it that way. And so anyway, so that's my video. And I think it's my favorite thing I've ever done. I think it's my favorite video I've ever done, more than the AI. I know people aren't going to like it as much as the AI. I know it's not going to be as popular, but I like it personally. Maybe it's because I'm in it.
No, I like it too.
The narcissist in me.
It's just I guess it's just a makers in us.
Right. I think so, because it's got that nice cinematography. And
yeah.
The only thing
like you actually put thought into it. I mean, of course, the parodies get thought into it too, but this one you actually have to put like a creative thought into it.
Yeah, you got to plan
like
it.
Filming. Yeah, exactly.
Shots. Yeah.
So it's a
what
craft.
Was nice is that what was nice that a lot of the businesses here, I would just go in and be like, hey, I'm gonna film something. Do you mind? And be like, no problem.
I noticed that. I'm like, damn, they let you get behind the bar to like film that one shot.
No, I sent Rebecca behind the bar, and I'm like, just stand there and shoot me, and yeah.
No, we gotta go shoot a movie there, Chris. What are we waiting for?
We can. I think we could. Yeah. I think they let us. You just have to, I think, mention them in the video, which I didn't do, but I don't. They didn't say that, but I think that's maybe hopefully what they expected. I'm not really sure, but everybody was just very, very cool. Of course, you tip the staff when you do that.
G.I. Jose, I know, right? You got me with yours right there. He says, come on, Jason. You know that we are interesting. I can see it in your eyes. You want us. You need us. Do it. Do it. I'm going to pay attention to the chat from now on, Chris. So keep on talking.
G.I. Jose, you bastard. No, we love G.I. Jose. We love G.I. Jose. All right. Let's get to the first story that isn't about me and my amazing video. But if you haven't seen the video, watch it and share it with everyone, because I want this one to go viral. Will it go viral? Probably not, but let's try. Let's try to make it go viral. All right, let's have a look at this. This is from Colin Rugg. I haven't looked at this yet. Oh, I know what this is.
Yeah.
This is insane, actually. Okay, listen to this. This is nuts.
In 2022, It was around March. I was walking my dog. It was not quite dark yet, but the sun was setting. As I'm walking my dog, I see these two guys that were.
Wait, can you pause? Can you pause for a second, Chris? I'm sorry. Stop the tape.
Yeah.
Stop the tape.
Yeah.
Notice how she's becoming more conservative. She's starting to look better. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but when women start becoming lean more towards conservatism, they start looking better. Weird.
You know, I used to make this joke because Anna Kasparian made a video that was critical of me back years ago when I made my AOC video, and I had this dot on my face, which is grown back actually here. It's like growing back.
Yeah,
I used to have this big dot on my face, and she called it a beauty mark, which I don't think. I mean, she could have called it a mole, right? She could have called it a birthmark. But she didn't. She called it a beauty mark. And I was like, Anna, is there something going on here that we should explore maybe? You know, I was like making jokes like that, you know. But you're right. Maybe I should start taking that more seriously. She's looking pretty good.
It's weird.
Yeah, it is true. It's a good point. All right, let's listen to this. Oh, hold on. Yeah, okay.
You know, they seemed kind of manic and their clothes were tattered. So I knew that they were probably homeless. And I also knew that they're probably on something just based on like the twitchy way they were acting. But living in LA, I mean, there's homeless people everywhere, right? So I've never had problems. I didn't think anything of it. But as I was bending down to pick up my dog's mess, one of the guys like grabs me by my hips and he had an erection.
Oh God.
And just starts like humping me. And I didn't know what to do. Like I was terrified. I didn't have a weapon on me. Like I had no way of defending myself. I didn't know how far it was going to go because it's two guys. I'm by myself with my little dog. It was one of the most terrifying things ever because I'm pretty good at defending myself. In that moment, I just knew there was no option.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And luckily he stopped and they just laughed at me and walked away as they were laughing at me. And so there was the fear and then the humiliation and weirdly shame. Like I felt ashamed for some reason. And it was awful. And it was really taking a toll on my mental health because I have to walk my dog, right? So at least 2 or 3 times a day, I'm going outside kind of scared. And so I opened up about this on the show. Not really thinking much of it. And before I know it, I'm starting to get these messages and it's like really, really harsh stuff. And it's about how you are painting a picture of the homeless community. You know, how could you be like this? You know, these are your unhoused neighbors and they need help. A few people accused me of being racist when I had never disclosed the race of the individuals who did this to me. And in fact, they were white. And so like when they started accusing me of being racist, I'm like, wait a minute. Why are you assuming that the people who did this?
Of course.
Yeah. Like, I think you might have a problem here.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that woke me up. Because I'm like, oh my God.
They eat their own.
In 2022.
Yeah. That's a really great story actually, because yeah, go on.
No, this is what I'm always talking about too. Like, for these people to wake up, everything's got to collapse.
It's got to affect them. Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. Personally.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's why I was always black pilled. Like the only way I thought what I would think would be make change is like the country just goes really just crazy. Like if Kamala wins and it's another 4 years of that disaster, I think maybe more people will wake up. Like if they cheat and they steal election and and just America just crashes, I think then finally we'll never hear of another Democrat being elected.
Then it'll be like civil war or something, which I don't think is a good idea.
Yeah, that's the problem. But that's what I'm saying. It like takes something like that, nearly being raped. Sorry, I said the word. Nearly being raped to for these people to change. It's crazy, you know. And then they see
it's stupid that you can't say certain words on YouTube, right?
It's so stupid. But
this is crap that's actually happening.
Also the reactions from the people that she knows, her peers and all that stuff, reacting the way they react, like she nearly was, you know what? And then they're saying, no, what are you talking about? Why are you saying that?
Isn't that crazy? It's so wild. Well, the left has this weird thing where they're like, we have to, racial justice, this kind of thing. They have this idea where they have to cater to drug addicts and homeless people and all this kind of stuff. Like, otherwise you're a bad person.
Yeah.
And I don't think you're doing homeless people any favors by keeping them homeless or keeping them on drugs or anything like this. No consequences is not good for anyone. Like, no responsibility is not good for anyone. I think it destroys your soul, right? But the left is okay with that. They're like, people want to have their own choices. And like, fair enough, people want to have their own choices, but there should be some social consequences too.
Yeah. Also, do you notice that she's also in that in that story, she's stating that she's a Second Amendment advocate now, so I mean,
oh, did she?
She said that she didn't have a weapon or anything to defend herself. Exactly. That's what we've been trying to tell you people forever. It's to defend yourself.
She goes, I felt shame for some reason. I don't know why. I'll tell you why she felt shame. In the moment, she felt shame probably because she couldn't figure out how to fight back, and she felt, too vulnerable. And when you feel vulnerable, I think there is this idea with women nowadays that you need to be tough and independent and that kind of crap. And I think women need to be taught that they are vulnerable, that they are actually delicate. Actually, even if you are like a top athlete woman, unless you're an MMA fighter or something, you are actually delicate, and that's how women should be. I mean, that's how women are naturally.
Even a female MMA fighter is still vulnerable to some crazy guy on the street. I'll tell you that right now.
Exactly. Well, that's exactly it. And men, we're supposed to be tough. Like, if that happened to a guy, he definitely should feel ashamed. But a girl, they get into this in their head that they should be able to fight these guys off. No, you shouldn't.
Yeah. Don't fall for the Hollywood fiction. Come on.
The fiction. You're not like an X-Man or something. You're not going to be able to beat these guys up. They're men. Like, you're crazy to even go near them.
You're not G.I. Jane, okay?
You're not G.I. Jane, woman. Yeah. But I guess maybe also she probably felt shame for putting herself in that position and not being smarter and being like, oh, maybe I shouldn't walk right next to the degenerate homeless people. But they also get in their head this idea that homeless people are just a victim of circumstance, which is sometimes it's true, but extremely rarely. Almost all the homeless people I've ever seen talk in interviews, or they're okay with being homeless. They're doing it by choice, or they're or they're like, maybe they had a bad situation, but they'd just rather do drugs and like hang out than actually try to clean up their lives. And some of them have very sad stories, but some of them are just like, whatever, I'm going to just keep milking the system, or whatever it is. I feel sorry for some, but for a lot, I don't actually. Go on. Right.
Also, it's the hypocrisy is great in them. Like, according to them, Trump is what? He's one of those, what word should I use? Forced upon women people,
Right,
like
They're like, oh, Trump's an assaulter.
Yeah. But then when an actual guy is about to do that to a woman, oh no, he's a homeless guy. You can't, no.
Why would you tell that story?
The hypocrisy.
It's really it's a bizarre mental illness, right? The woke mind virus, as Elon Musk likes to talk about it. It's kind of sickening. Actually, we need to protect women in America. We need to protect women. We need to protect kids. We need to protect the weak.
My kid and my woman are well protected. So
yeah,
you liberal dudes, you're on your own there, man. If you don't want to protect your women, hey, that's on you.
But I think where she might actually feeling ashamed might do some good for her is being ashamed that she votes for Democrat politicians who allow this sort of stuff to happen, facilitate these kinds of homeless encampments and all this kind of problems. If you elected me mayor of Los Angeles or the governor of California, I would have the homeless problem cleaned up within like a month.
Same here.
Really,
you vote me
really
in first. That'll be gone, wiped out.
Yeah, it's just dumb. There are solutions to these problems that are known, but they're just choosing not to use them. But it's nice that this woman, because she does have a lot of reach. She's a significantly famous person, and she has a lot of influence.
Well, did you hear what she said?
For her to what?
She said she's not a Democrat anymore. She said she's in like the middle. She's like has no party. She doesn't.
Yeah,
belong to
that was
any party.
another. That was like another thing that she'd said.
Yeah.
And I really respect that.
This
love
is
that
significant. I want to talk about this because it's significant. Because if she wasn't wakening up, we wouldn't talk about her because it would be a waste of time. But like that is like she was a crazy leftist. You know, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, she was a propagandist essentially. I mean, she was further left than even like the mainstream media left. But you know, there are, like you say, when things get personal, when your whole world's collapsing around you, then you kind of go, you got to reassess. You know, maybe this isn't the best way forward. Yeah, you're creating a dangerous environment for yourself by voting for Democrats.
Yep.
But it wasn't actually the event. That's the crazy thing. It wasn't even that event that started to change her mind.
Yeah. It was how they treated her.
Backlash talking about the event, right? So she goes ahead and tells a story on her show, like, yeah, you know what? Maybe not all of our policies are exactly perfect. Maybe we should take a note from Donald Trump and maybe not embrace the homeless. These crazy leftists come out and like viciously attack her and she goes, oh, you know what? Actually, maybe the conservatives are right about us.
Yeah.
Maybe we are nuts. I mean, what are we doing here? Somebody complains that they almost get assaulted and you guys attack the victim? Really?
Yep.
Because she's not allowed to talk about homeless people or homeless black people, according to some of them.
That was another important point there. Like, you see, the true racists are actually these liberal leftist Democrats. Like, they automatically thought she was talking about a black man. You know, like, I mean, you can't get more obvious than that of your inside racism.
Because I grew up in Oregon, and Oregon, when I was a kid, was like 98% white. Or even more than that, maybe like 99.9% white. I mean, there were really very few black people. There were some Asians, a few Hispanic, like migrants back when they actually did migrate back and forth between Mexico and the U.S. So when she said like 2 homeless guys assaulted her, in my head, I actually envisioned white guys. Weirdly, I don't know why, homeless white guys. Even though I lived in L.A., I was actually in LA. I was like downtown, living in downtown. I had a nice apartment, but 90% of the homeless were black people actually in LA. But for whatever reason, when I envisioned this story, when she was telling it, I envisioned white homeless hobos, you know, like the old fashioned kind of homeless hobo. I don't know why. Maybe because where I am right now, everybody's white. Almost everybody's white here. I mean, unless you're a local. But everybody that travels here is white. I don't know why I thought that, but I just thought they were white, which I think some people would say, oh, you envisioned a white person in a story and therefore you're racist that way too. I'm sure that no matter how you envision this story, somebody will find a way to call you racist.
Yeah.
But yeah, they ended up being white homeless guys, but the left is like assuming that they're black guys, and it doesn't really matter. I mean, the point really was that they're homeless degenerates. It really doesn't matter what their skin color is, but they got to turn into a race thing because the left, you know, that's what they do. But it's nice. You're 100% right. I think that this is a situation that's gotten so bad that even hardcore leftists are starting to question it. And that's why I kind of think it's not really possible for Trump to lose. Now, I don't think any of us really think that Trump could lose legitimately, but I don't even think they can cheat big enough to steal it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think so.
You know what? I'm totally convinced Trump is on his way to win. I'm like, I have no doubt. Even with a cheat, he's gonna win. That doesn't mean don't go vote. I mean, everybody needs to go vote.
We have to.
Early.
I mean, that's the way that we're going to win, of course.
But that's what scares me also, because if they're thinking like me that there's no way they're gonna win, what are they capable of doing before election? So we've got less than a month to go. So I'm kind of on like pins and needles because I'm convinced Trump is going to win, no matter they cheat, no matter what. So I'm afraid what they're going to do. It's
you know what's funny? Okay, so let me get back to my video real quick. By the way, I predicted that at like about right now, within like the next week, that Joe Biden would step down and allow Kamala Harris to become president in order to basically suck up all the news in the news cycle. Now, that's not happened yet, but we'll see. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe well. I said this again like last Thursday. I pray this does not happen, but if it happens, just be prepared. It might happen. That might be the October surprise, you know.
Yeah.
But I want to say, like, this is kind of why I made this video. You know, like the latest video that I made was a bit more work than a lot of the stuff that I do. It's not just me in my room clicking buttons. That like I had to go out and shoot in a variety of locations with different wardrobes, and you know, I had to get people to help me, and you know, it was kind of a bigger project. This, and the reason I did it actually was because it's weird. You know, I had this big viral video that, you know, Elon Musk posted, and I was in the news, and Gavin Newsom made a law to ban my videos and everything, you know. And I actually kind of was, it was a weird moment for me because even though it was like a huge deal and, you know, everybody's interviewing me and sending me messages, and it was a little exhausting, but it was, I felt like I had made some kind of significant impact in the election, in the future of the country, shifting the culture a little bit. And I thought, and once that kind of like, I mean, it's still going on, but once it kind of died down a little bit, I thought, man, why am I even making videos anymore? Because I don't think I can do anything that has the same impact as that last, you know, as what happened. This last adventure was one of the greatest adventures I've ever had in my life. I'm like, I can't do better than this. I can't support Trump any more than I have done. I can't try to save the world any more than I have done with this whole experience. And then when I had this idea for this video, I was like, okay, let's put some work into this and actually make it good. So that's why I'm quite proud of this video. And I'm quite happy about it. And this is why I put the work into it.
Somebody says retire on top.
I know.
While you're at the top, just retire. Yep.
Yeah, but I feel like putting out this new video, I kind of, at least I proved to myself, like, okay, you can still do something that could potentially have a big impact. I don't think it will have a big impact. I don't think people are going to, I don't think it's going to go viral or anything, but I don't know. For me, I love this one. I like this one way better than the AI ones. I just thought this was really good.
Yeah, me too. And because, yeah, like you said, you got to put work into it. It takes some artistic skill, and it's a process, and you know, we're filmmakers, so of course we're going to be biased to that. By
the way, your response to it was amazing. I was very, very happy when you responded positively, because I don't know, you know, you never know how people are going to respond. I showed it to two girls that I know that like live near me. One of them was from Saudi Arabia, and she speaks very, very good English. And she watched it, and she was like laughing the whole time. She's like, I can't believe that Kamala Harris is that dumb. And I'm like, I know, right? And then this other girl was from South Korea, and she watched it, and she doesn't speak English as well. She didn't really understand the jokes, but she starts freaking out because, and I'm like, and she's like covering her mouth like the Asian girls do, you know, like, hey, oh my gosh, man. You know, I'm like, why is she freaking out so much? And she goes, Chris, how did you make, it's like a real movie. How did you make this? Like, she didn't know I had the capacity to make something that looked like a professional film, you know? So that was quite nice. That was quite cool. She was freaking out just because
that's always good when you surprise people with when you do something really good and they're like, I didn't know you could do that.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, she had gone back to Korea for a few days, and she'd gone to Singapore and stuff. And so it was me and two of the other girls that hang out together sometimes. And so they had seen clips. They kind of knew what was going on. She had never seen any of it. So when she came and she saw the whole thing all at once, she was just like blown away. Like she couldn't believe that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I guess for me, I'm used to kind of shooting stuff that looks relatively good. So I wasn't really, you know, obviously I know what I can do, but you kind of forget that other people don't know that you can do that.
I love cinematography. Like I love that. Like if I could have done it over again, I think I'd focus on cinematography, and that's what I would have focused on instead of like directing and writing and all that. Cinematography.
I think, actually that's a smart thing. Let's go back in time and do it again.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's have a look at JD Vance. Should we have a look at JD Vance, Jason?
Yes.
Okay, let's have a look at JD Vance. Breaking. This is what our next vice president looks like.
I tell you, Chris, he's kind of making me feel better about him. You know, like I had my doubts in the beginning, but this picture is kind of winning me over.
It's a good picture, right? I mean, isn't that one of them AR assault rifles?
Yeah. That's that. Yeah. Assault rifle, AR, assault rifle. Yeah. It's one of those evil black things.
Yeah. What is the quote? How many magazines can they get in the?
No. How many clips? They say clips.
How many clips can they get in the magazine? I don't know. Yeah, whatever it is. But yeah, it's pretty badass shot. Let's be honest, that's pretty good.
Look, and not only the rifle, but look at in the back, the wood, the chopped up wood. It's like, man, it's what America needs to be.
It looks like he's almost playing guitar. Actually, that wood looks a lot like my dad's house. Like if you go back to my family's house in Oregon, we got a big area where we put all the wood, and you got to chop the wood, throw it back there.
I love it.
Or you have to, if we're going to start a fire, we got to go outside and get it from,
Love it. That's a dream. That's what I want to do. But yeah, he is.
You guys, your family should come visit my family in Oregon. You guys would have fun.
I'm down. Yeah. That'll be. I've never been to Oregon, so
it's nice, man. It's nice. It's better in the summer, I think, but I mean, I like going back for Christmas and everything. But yeah, JD Vance. That it's so funny how like they're trying to get Doug Emhoff to be the new face of masculinity.
Oh yeah, you see, that's the thing. Like when you see that picture of Vance, do you question it? Do you question his manlyhood? Do you question like,
no,
he's just acting? That's not real. No, it's like,
yes, I'm not. Yeah.
You see, that was the last thing that I was thinking about. Like, oh, this is so fake. This is so staged. But then when they do it, it's like,
That's immediately what you think.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, let me play this. Let me play my video again, real quick, because I want you guys to hear the music. I know I keep talking about the dang video, but I'm very happy about it. Because I sent this to Gorka, right?
Attention a little more, and the more I listened, the more I liked.
Does the U.S. have no sway over Prime Minister Netanyahu?
The work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were
that's amazing.
Very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
So fun. Kamala will say absolutely nothing, but she will express this nothingness as if it is the most profound thing anyone has ever said. And that, I think, is what it truly means to sound presidential.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
It's time to do what we've been doing, and that time is every day. Wow. But what really
I actually make myself laugh from this. That's how good that video is. But so I put that music.
So wait, somebody wrote in the comments, that must have been a difficult thing to crop. And I was like, oh, somebody understands the when the car passes through the screen. You had to crop that, right?
I use is masked. It's masked.
Masked.
That masking was, whoever figured that out, you know what's up. That was hard. And in fact, I didn't even get it quite right. And I was just like, I was kind of sloppy. I was just like, I don't care. Get it done.
I actually went back and forth on that shot. I was like, oh, he actually did some visual effects here, some VFX.
Of course.
And I was looking, I was like, you made me proud. I was like, oh, you did a good job.
Oh,
because that's what I studied in college. I studied visual.
Yeah, every time you see Kamala in the video, it's a visual effect because, like, I'm holding my phone. I just had a white screen, and I had to like layer Kamala over. It's not always perfect, but it was what it was. But anyway,
the music.
Now you got me thinking about the
music
technical stuff. Yeah, so I sent that to Gorka. And he was like, I love it. I'll play it on the show. So he's playing it on this radio show. But he goes, and then he goes, oh, I love the low T music as well. Low T, he calls it low T music. And I wrote back, hey, I like that music. I actually like the music. He's like, I love the low T music. I'm like, whoa.
That's hilarious.
I was like, I thought it was kind of chill. I actually like the music. But anyway, bit of fun. I'm like, Gorka, come on, man. Why you gotta be like that? I love the low T music. So brutal. So brutal. All right, let's look at what else we got in the news here. This is, oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Why did you play this? I don't want to watch this. Gorka made me watch this already, and it really annoyed me, but we'll watch it again. This blasphemy craziness. I don't even understand what they're thinking. So she's supposed to be like taking communion, but it's like a burrito. I don't get it. I don't even get it.
That's so hot and sexy. Wow.
Is that what that's supposed to be?
Man, these people.
This guy, Veritas, he writes, I'm not religious, but this is giving satanic vibes. Right? And this chick, Ashley 907 writes, mocking communion, replacing it as the worship of Kamala.
I had a comment. Notice how they never do things like this concerning Islam or Muslims.
No, they never would they? They never would. But like, what is her problem?
Oh, it's a big scandal though. Like she made an apology. Like it's backfiring bad.
But I don't even get what she thought was good about it. Like, why would you do this?
Yeah.
Like, what was the point of this?
Yeah. I was watching somebody earlier. Whatever. I forgot. He made a good kind of thought on it. Like, if it was a mockery on religion, it's bad. You know, because like if it was what do they call it? The Eucharist? What is that? What they call it, or something like that? The Holy Communion or something like that.
Yeah,
they're making fun of religion. If it was based off of like some sadomasochist porn thing, then it's also bad. Like these people are just, their minds are like all screwed up.
I just don't even understand what she thought the point was. Like, I don't understand why you would do this. Like, what? Because you have to write this. Like, you have to go, okay, so we're gonna do this, and it's gonna be funny or interesting or whatever. But it's just friggin' weird, man. I mean,
but Vance is the weirdest guy. A family man raising a family. That's weird.
Oh, where are they so interested in controlling your bodies? You're so weird.
Yeah.
That guy, Tim Walz, is a friggin' nut job. I'm glad they picked him, actually, to expose how annoying and awful the left is. But this chick, Gretchen Whitmer. Okay, so Gorka showed me this, and my initial reaction was like, because she'd done a bunch recently. She's done a bunch of social media videos, like TikToks and stuff. So she's kind of, I think, trying to stay relevant with these social media hits. Like she did this whole thing where she was trying to sound cool, like using young people slang. This is like the Gretchen Whitmer thing now. She's trying to go viral with these videos and stay relevant and be cool and all this kind of thing.
I think she's one of the prospects that they're gonna pump up after this 4 years. I think she's going to be the new generation, a different Democrat.
I think she's going about it all wrong. I think she's going about it in a way that it's just making people sick, and nobody wants to.
What do we always say? Like, they're dumb. Like they don't.
Her other videos are cringe. This is creepy. This is like freaky.
Yeah.
I like these comments though. I mean. Let's see.
Somebody writes, how do people like this become governors of states? They cheat.
Yeah, this is so blasphemous, disgusting, cringeworthy, and straight up stupid. Did I forget any adjectives? So she apologized for this. I didn't see any of that.
Yeah.
I didn't see any apology.
Yeah, it's backfiring bad.
I don't even know how it would have forward fired good.
Wait, what?
You said it backfired bad, but how would it have forward fired good? You know, this to me was like sabotage. Like why would you do this?
Yeah. It's like putting Kamala Harris in all these interviews and stuff. It's just why are they doing it?
That I can explain. Let me just explain the Kamala interview thing real quick, because I have a theory anyway. You guys can tell me if you think I'm wrong in the comments, and Jason will get lost in them. Jason gets lost in the comments like a 14-year-old girl gets lost in the eyes of the high school football quarterback. The comments.
It's just that you're not too interesting, Chris. So I go to the comments.
That is accurate. That is actually accurate. That is true. I will admit to that. Sometimes I do prattle on a little bit and get a bit boring. But this is the thing that weirds me out about this. Because this is what I'm saying. How would this have forward fired good? When you write this, when you think of this idea, how does it not occur to you that you're going to, everyone will hate you now?
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, they don't think these things through.
I would say, hands down, I've said this earlier in the show, is my favorite video I've ever made. I love it. I'm proud of it. I think it's a good video, right? I don't even think it's really that offensive to anyone. You know what I mean? You don't have to be provocative to get clicks. You know, you just have to do something funny and interesting. I just don't get that. I just don't get it. Oh, sorry. I was going to explain why they put Kamala Harris in all these interviews. That was such a disaster. At least my take on it. And again, you guys can tell me if you disagree. I think it was because of the debate. So I think what happened was Trump really won the debate. If you were to rate the debate, like 100 years from now, if they watch back the debate, they'll be like, "Oh, this guy destroyed this woman." You know, if they forgot about Trump, they've forgotten about Kamala Harris. They don't know who these people are, and they go back and watch the debate. They'll be like, "Wow, that guy just obliterated her. He knew all the issues. He was confident. He knew what he was doing. She seemed to know nothing." But we expected Trump to obliterate her, and we expected her to fall flat on her face, and she didn't fall flat on her face. And Trump was like a little bit more chill than we expected, and we discussed this before on the show. And so a lot of people felt like Kamala won, which is just a matter of perspective, really. But a lot of people Kamala won. And I think what happened was Kamala comes out then, and the campaign has all this newfound confidence for Kamala to come out and do interviews and all this kind of thing. And wow, what misplaced confidence that was. And so I think it was actually kind of good that Trump maybe didn't just completely obliterate her in the debate, because it sort of teased her out and made her come out a little bit out of her shell, out of the basement, talk to the media, and expose herself as the moron that she actually is. So that's what I think. That's what I think happened. I don't know. What do you think, Jace?
Yeah, no, I agree, and that's why they're so desperate for a second debate too.
I know. I think that is why. But I think that would be a mistake for them also. I think
it would.
I would love to see a second debate, but again, I know why.
I think now that people know Kamala like they know her more after the debate now, because everything that's happened. I think now he can like be Trump from 2016 if he did debate her and just go off on her, and nobody would be like, "Oh,
yeah, that would be awesome, right?" Yeah,
but I don't think it's smart. I agree. He should not.
Strategically, he can't do it, but man, I would love to see that.
Because all it takes is a little, she might get a little thing that will be really good, and that might win the debate, so it's not worth the risk. I doubt that would happen, but it's not worth the risk.
I'll tell you what, though. You know what would be less risky if you just had a surrogate, right? A surrogate. So you had a Trump surrogate, like a stand-in, debate Kamala. It's really Kamala, but it's like a Trump friend of the campaign, something. I'm going to nominate for this job Mr. Reagan. I think Mr. Reagan should do it. I would love that. I would love to debate Kamala Harris on behalf of Donald Trump and just express some ideas. Oh my gosh, that would be very satisfying.
Imagine that. The person that did those parodies.
This is Happy Indigenous Day of Resistance. F. Christopher Columbus. Why would you have me post this, Jason?
Because this is like the most annoying thing. I don't know if I posted if you're gonna put my view on this. Oh yeah, I did. I'm not gonna say it yet.
Okay, so we're good. Native Patriot jumped in.
Oh here and yeah, and the comments are awesome. I think that's really why I did it.
And this chick goes, but you lost. I'm gonna like that one. That's like the best response ever. But you lost. Oh, Native Patriot. We love Native Patriot on the show. He says, Happy Columbus Day. Remember, not all natives have been colonized by Marxism. Sweet. And he says, be careful what you wish for. I love that guy, man. Resistance is futile. They were refugees bringing diversity. Don't be a bigot. I know they got this meme where they were like, they showing like the pilgrims and, whatever, pioneers or something. And they're like, they don't like these immigrants, but they do like these ones. And then they post, of course, the new immigrants that are coming in. It's a good.
Christopher Columbus is the one immigrant that leftist Democrats hate.
Exactly right. That's exactly right. All right, let's have a look.
By the way, happy Columbus Day, Chris.
Is it Columbus Day today?
Yep. Say it, everybody. Happy Columbus Day.
Happy Columbus Day, everybody.
Yep.
Happy
we are grateful to you, but and thank you for discovering this country for the European world.
Yeah. And you know what? A lot of good Christian men, I think, on that voyage. Even though people are like, "Oh, he did bad things."
No,
I think it was
the complete.
he was a brave man. He was a brave man who went exploring. All right. Tim Waltz's wife talks to Kamala Harris voters like children, puts her teacher glasses on and says she has an assignment due on November 5th. I'm here with an assignment for you today. Let's have a look at this.
Hey, Kamala HQ. I'm Gwen Walls, and I have been an educator for a really long time, and I'm here with an assignment for you today. It's due on November 5th, and I'm going to put my teacher classes on because this is really serious, like a final, and there's no late work. I need you to take yourself and 3 friends to the ballot box and make your voice heard. You have to vote. I'm going to repeat that again. You and 3 of your friends have to make your voices heard by voting. If you need more information, just go to I Will Vote.
Okay, so I'm going to just stop because I don't need to know where to go.
But why I posted this before? I posted because this is what Democrats leadership thinks of the peons. They think of you as little children.
Real quick?
Go ahead.
Can I just react real quick? In the words of Tim Waltz, that's really weird. That's weird, man. That is weird. I don't know. She's like playing a little bit of a game, I guess.
I don't know. I think this is how they see everybody as little children, and we know nothing. They know better than us.
Do you remember when Kamala Harris was on some like black radio show? It was like a radio show that black people listen to. And they go,
I know you don't want to say the name because you hate it.
No, it was a different one. It was not the one you're thinking of. It wasn't the breakfast whatever club. It was a different one. And they go, yo, Kamala, for all those people who don't know, why don't you tell them about the war in Ukraine? And she goes, okay. That's my black people voice for those. My hip hop homie voice. And she goes, okay, well, so here's the story about the war in Ukraine. So Russia is a country in Europe. It's a really big country. And next to Russia is another country called Ukraine. And it's a smaller country. And the big country invaded the small country. And so that's bad. Literally, that's what she said. Maybe I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but it's essentially what she said. Look this up. It's insane. I keep wanting to put it in one of my parody videos, but because it's radio, it's a little bit tricky. Like I was going to do that as one of the sketches in the new video, but I couldn't find like an old timey radio. I was going to get like a radio. Oh man, like how it was the most infantilizing thing I've ever heard. You've heard her talk about AI, but the thing is, I think with Kamala, she's actually that dumb. I don't think she can explain anything beyond that, right? So with AI, she goes, so AI is 2 letters, and they say A and I, and they stand for artificial intelligence. Like really, she says it. You look this stuff up. I'm not making this up.
Yeah, man,
this is really true.
Oh, it's
really true.
It's embarrassing.
So the way they talk to their own voters. I mean, if you're a Democrat voter, don't you at any point go, okay, you got to be kidding me now?
Yeah.
I'm voting for this.
This is the best we could do. Really?
This is the best we could do. I don't know, man. We gotta sort ourselves out here. But yeah, this thing is weird. All right, let me look at, because I didn't get a chance to look at any of the stories today because I only got like an hour of sleep. That's what happens when you go to the club. All right. I act like that's a good thing. I absolutely hated every second of it. Okay. Oh, this is mine. Hey, he posted one of mine. Just when you think Trump can't get any better. Breaking. Trump calls for the death penalty for illegal immigrants who murder American citizens or a law enforcement officer. Can I just say, Trump, we salute you, man. I mean, this is such a good idea. I mean, why don't other candidates think of this stuff?
Wait, and since they're not American citizens, they could go direct to the death penalty, right? There's no need to wait or anything, right? Like, since they're not really.
I don't understand that.
Like, in the court system, if somebody murders somebody and then they're put to, like, they're up for death penalty and they're actually guilty, like it takes like a million years for them to actually,
rigmarole. Yeah.
But these are not
So
citizens.
you're just saying
right?
that go into the cell with like a 45.
I plead the fifth on that.
Just blam. Like
this video is gonna be so shut down
instantly. I mean, it's a funny. The reason it's funny is because it's absurd. Of course, our legal system wouldn't allow that. I'm sure there's people in the chat going, "I would do it. I want this job."
Oh, there is. When they don't have rights, no endless appeals. They're already saying it. You take them to the border wall, right? And you do whatever you got to do, and just leave them on the Mexican side, right? That's it.
There is, it's there used to be this this sort of like morbid curiosity people have. Like they would go to public hangings, public executions. We've lost this curiosity for death, which I think we do have it a little bit, but it's nothing like it used to be back in the old days. And I don't know, maybe it should come back a little bit because there are some people that definitely deserve to die. I believe that. Like the worst of the worst of the worst, the most horrific, heinous crimes, like stuff that they do to children and stuff. You want these people to die.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
I mean, they just shouldn't be here.
That's why sometimes I hate X, because I see some things that happen to like little kids, and I'm like, I just want to go to wherever that person is and do things.
That's enough. That's enough. We know it.
Well,
I think the same thing.
But that's like, for me, death penalty. You just can't deny that. You can't be against that. Like these poor kids.
Yeah, the social media companies, they don't really like us talking about the death penalty at all. Like it's kind of verboten to even talk about it, but that's a real issue. It's a real consideration. The stuff that some of these immigrants have done to women is pretty horrific, but yeah, definitely the kids stuff. Anything that anybody does to kids, to me, that's monstrous. It's like the worst thing. Because they're like, to me, I don't know. I think that natural human behavior, natural human instinct is to protect children. Right. I mean, to protect women if you're a man as well, but everyone wants to protect children, right? Because we were all kids once, right? We had that time of innocence where we didn't really know about adult stuff, like how evil the world could be. And I think deep down, we all miss that a little bit. We would love to be in that life again. Yeah, I would love to be 10 years old again.
Yeah.
Even 10 years old, I think I knew that there was a lot of evil in the world that I would have to deal with when I grew up. And man, why strip the innocence of a child like that? Like why do that?
I used to go to at that age, I used to go to bed scared that I'd wake up and it'd be like a nuclear winter.
Really?
Yeah, because remember in like the 80s, late 80s and stuff like that, it was like this whole like just nuclear war everywhere, and
people are talking about
any day we're gonna be like Russia's gonna nuke us, and in the movies
kids
like Red Dawn and all that stuff.
Yeah, Red Dawn. Yeah, I was kind of similar. I think kids do get irrational fears. Like adults get we know, well, some adults get irrational fears, but for the most part, as adults, we're dealing with real world problems. Like we got to feed the family, we've got to real stresses, real problems. We got to figure out how to do how to vote. We got to work stuff out.
Yeah.
Kids worry about crazy stuff, but it does make life a little bit more adventurous and more fun.
You know what it was like. My parents let us watch the day after on television. Yeah.
Oh,
that traumatized me, man. That like after watching that, I was traumatized. I was thinking every night, I was like, am I gonna wake up and it's gonna be like day after?
Oh no. And you gotta be careful what you show your kids, you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, I had a fear of nuclear war for many years in my childhood. From that. It traumatized me.
Do you remember the cartoon show, The Gummy Bears? Did you ever see that when you were a kid?
Yes.
It was like on about the same time as
I wasn't a fan of it, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I love
DuckTales. Oh, I love DuckTales. Was my show.
DuckTales was genius show. But actually, Gummy Bears was quite good. Like it was all medieval stuff, and I loved medieval stuff as a kid. So I was like 5 years old. I loved that show. So when my nieces turned 5 or 6 or 7 or something, I was like, "Oh, you should watch this show that I watched when I was like a little boy." And I tried to play them Gummy Bears, and my niece got all freaked out because it was too dark. Like the evil sorcerer was like too intense for her. She couldn't watch it. I had to turn it off. And my sister's like, yeah, she just gets freaked out easy. I'm like, okay.
I can't wait. I can't wait to start showing my son DuckTales. Like I love that.
Yes, how cool is that?
But the original DuckTales. He's 2.
Yet?
He turned 2 in September.
Still 2. Okay.
Yeah, so he's not really gonna quite get it,
yet.
but I can't wait to like sit down and watch DuckTales with him. Like the
whole
all
right?
the seasons and
watch it all again. Yeah. That's the great thing about having a kid. You can be a kid again. I love that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think this has turned into a kind of a happy conversation, which is kind of nice. We went from like the most evil people in the world to like, actually, kids are great, right? But so I went to go visit my brother. We actually met up in Hawaii. His family was in Hawaii, and I went down to Hawaii, and we were there at the same time. And so I know that his son really liked dinosaurs. He's in the dinosaur phase, And you can't show him Jurassic Park, obviously. you gotta traumatize the kid,
Why not? He needs to learn the truth about dinosaurs.
They're vicious killers, boy. You're gonna learn. No, but there's a lot of these movies, there's a lot of these Jurassic Park movies, and some of the effects are amazing, especially that first film. Had some really great effects and stuff, and you could see dinosaurs in a context that wasn't always scary. Like not every scene in that film is scary, right? So what I was doing was I'd go to YouTube and I'd find clips from the Jurassic Park movies that weren't the scary clips, and I'm like, "Hey, you want to see dinosaurs?" And he's like, "What?"
Yeah. Like the scene where they're in the Jeep and they see the big what you call those?
Yeah, exactly.
Brachiosauruses or something.
Yeah. And he just
for going to the theater and watching that movie was like an amazing event. Like when I saw that movie, I was like, wow, this is like awesome.
Same. It was like a huge event. I think actually one of our classes went to go. Like it was like such a cool thing to see dinosaurs for real.
Yeah.
For the first time.
I have all the Jurassic Park cups that were in like McDonald's
or Burger King.
I have the whole collection. Yeah, I have the whole collection.
we had those. Yeah, it was great. Good times, man. Good times. Well, I'm getting all nostalgic now. But yeah, that was fun. So I got to show them some clips of like real dinosaurs, quote unquote. What looks pretty close to real. And yeah, they just lost numbers. All the kids did. They all loved it. All right, what do we got here? The Space Ranger has jumped in for $10. Let's have a look at that. Space Ranger says the most toxic place on the web is Reddit. Zero Koof. Goes, I tried telling them it's been 5 years, move on. 30 seconds later, I got banned. Reddit is the best argument for why we should reopen insane asylums. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't really use Reddit. I've never really used Reddit. Thank you, Space Ranger, by the way. But I don't really... I have heard that it's like a very leftist controlled and they have like crazy ideas. And like you say, it is actually toxic, not the toxic masculinity that they pretend that we've got. It's like legitimately toxic with like really weird people. I think we all know the leftists are really the nutty, crazy ones. I met this guy last night that that the Korean girl was trying to date for some reason. She liked this guy. She likes Dutch guys. I don't know what's up with that. But he was a pretty nice guy, Dutch guy. But he was he doesn't like Trump. And in fact, when I met this guy, I go, read the chat. When I met this guy,
the minute you paused, I was like,
yeah. I'm gonna yell it. Stop reading the chat. So anyway,
it's like I got my dad here, like, you know, like, man.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So I meet this guy, and he's like, "Hey, what's your name? Like, you know, where are you from?" And all this. And I go, I just literally, because somebody's going to ask me what I do for a job. I know that's the next thing he's going to ask me the next things, or what do you do for a job? So I go, "Are you a big Trump fan?" And he goes, "No, I do not like Trump." I go, "Then you're not gonna like me." that's how I structured our introduction. And he goes, "Oh, you're a Trump fan?" I'm like, "Yeah, you could say that." I'm like, famously, I'm like famously a Trump fan. And the guy goes, well, I think we should talk because, you know, I feel like we should have more of a dialogue between the two different sides.
You're sure about that?
Yeah. I'm like, well, you're the only one, man, because in America. So, of course, the guy corners me, and he wants to, you know, he wants to hear all my arguments and everything. And the one that always gets him, the one that I love, I go, you know, I think, and I've said this before on the show, I go, I think that DC is much more corrupt than people think. And they always go, yeah, no, I think it is. And I go, so if all these corrupt politicians are afraid of and hate one person, that's probably the person that you want in the White House, right? And then they always go like this. Like they can't argue. You know, they're just like, that's actually quite clever. But they kind of tend to dismiss it as like a rhetorical trick or something, but it's actually not a rhetorical trick. Like if you think these people are, and it took him a while to get it. I don't know if he ever did. I almost want to text him and be like, did you ever understand what I was trying to say? And I'm kind of trying to explain to him, I'm like, a lot of these people are being blackmailed. They're controlled. They cannot control Trump. And if they could control Trump, they wouldn't mind him being elected because they could control him.
Yeah.
The fact that they hate him and they're scared of him shows you that he's not controlled, which shows you that he's not corrupt.
Yep. Exactly.
He's not being blackmailed, so that's why they hate him so much, you know. Which I think exactly. He couldn't figure out that logic. I'm like, it's not that tricky, man. Hot Power Concrete and Summer Fried Crawfish Company, love to see you again there, man. He says, you got to go to McDonald's. Shake my head, white privilege. You got to go to McDonald's. Are you not white, Half Power? I always assumed the name Half Power was like the whitest name I've ever seen. It sounds Dutch, actually, or German or something. You know what's funny? Let me tell you something. Actually, this is actually
he's Haitian.
Stop eating the dogs, Half Power. They're eating the cats. So you know what's funny? Because of that dance hit, you know, eat the cat, eat the cat. Those girls, every time they go to the club now, if they like if there's a song playing that they love, they'll go, eat the cat, eat the. They'll start jumping up and start singing that. It's pretty funny. But let me tell you something funny about the McDonald's white privilege thing. We were so poor when I was growing up. I shouldn't say we were poor because we were poor, but my mom was really cheap. More than we were poor, my mom was cheap because she was always trying to save money to try to build a family wealth, you know, build a nice foundation. And she did, and they did a great job, and they have money now. But when I was growing up, we had so little money that if I thought McDonald's was expensive when I was like in elementary school because my mom was like, we can make burgers at home for cheaper. And I'm always like, yeah, but the burgers at home aren't very good, you know? And like, they're not like McDonald's. McDonald's is way better. She's like, no, it's too expensive. McDonald's was too expensive for my very, very white family. Okay, that's how poor we were. And then another thing, which I probably shouldn't say, but I'm going to, because it's a little bit embarrassing, maybe. I don't know. But this is what my mom would do. So she would very rarely take us to see movies, like maybe once or twice a year, maybe. Probably once a year or once every 2 years. I mean, that's how rare they went to the movie. But every once in a while, there'd be like a Disney movie or something like that. So she'd get the kids in the car. We'd go to the movie theater. But before we'd go, she would pop popcorn, on the stove in a pot, pop popcorn, put it in a.
Oh wow,
in a-
that's
in
old
a-
school right there.
She would put it in like a grocery bag, like a paper grocery bag. Roll it up, put it in her purse. We'd go watch the Bambi or whatever it was, She'd pull out this, and it all had these dots on it for the grease, from the grease where the grease was, soaking through. She'd pull that and she'd give it to us, and we'd eat popcorn out of this grocery bag, watching the paper bag, watching this Disney movie, whatever. That's because she refused to pay the exorbitant prices for popcorn at the movie theater.
Chris, are you sure you're white?
Yes. But I mean, my mom was half Scottish, so
you know what they say about the Scots?
yeah. There's no Mexicans think they're cheap. They've never met Scottish people. Okay, that's all I'm saying. All right, let's see here. Honestly Present jumps in, and they said brings a new meaning to hot dogs. What is that? What is that a reference to?
Something we were talking about.
Sorry, I lost track. I should have read that earlier. Sorry, Honestly Present.
By the way,
yeah.
Hoffport wrote, I do not identify as white, and dog is delicious.
Oh, hot dogs. Don't eat the dogs. Yeah, good call. And dog is delicious. That's funny stuff. I mentioned this before, but I'm going to mention it again because I talk about it here where I'm currently staying, because I'm in Indonesia, and in other parts of Indonesia, but even here where I am actually, which is a little bit more, they have a little bit more money here. They eat dogs here. Okay. When they pointed to the white people in Springfield, Ohio, saying these Black Haitians are eating dogs, and they went, "That's racist. You're only saying that because you're a racist and you want people to be afraid of these poor Black immigrants." No, guys, around the world, they do eat dogs. Okay. If you don't know that, you're just uneducated. I'm sorry. You just are not well-traveled. They eat dogs here. Like, they eat dogs. I'm sorry. This is something that happens.
And let me tell you, Chris, you've eaten dog and you don't even know it. So
it's possible. I don't think I have here, but I don't know. Maybe in a can of Spam or something. You never know. You never know, guys. I hope not, but
I love Spam. People hate it, but I love it.
And I said this on the show too. My friend from Korea actually said that when she was 12, her parents were like, "All right, we're going to eat dinner, and it is dog." And she was like, "What?" And she ate dog, and she said that it was very lean, like it had zero fat on it. But the way that they cooked it was quite good, and they had it in like a stew or something like that. And she goes, it was actually adorable. Because she's kind of a cute girl, and she has these eyes that make her look sad all the time. They're kind of like this, And she goes, and the saddest part? And I go, what? And she goes, it's delicious.
I thought you were gonna. You know what I thought you were gonna say? It was my pet. It was my pet. That would have been great. That would have been great.
That would have been horrible. What are you talking about? That's like, my gosh, that's brutal. Oh, she goes, it was delicious.
I'm sorry, my daughter. We ate Fluffy. We ate Fluffy.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible. It's horrible. All right, we've got another super chat here. Hold on. The Red Space Ranger jumps in with $5. Says, will you appear on Friday Night Tights? It's a weekly pop culture show that's largely pro-Trump. You'd make a great guest there, like Chris Gore. Okay, Red Space Ranger, let me tell you something about Friday Night Tights. Okay. I know all those guys. All right. I know Gary. I know Chrissy Mayer. She's a friend of mine. I know Chris Gore. He's a friend of mine. I know all those a-holes. Okay. Gary never invites me on the show. I don't know why. All right.
Can you imagine that?
I hung out with
Chris is too controversial for those controversial people.
Look, I'm kind of throwing a fit here. I'm kind of throwing a fit, but I love Gary. I love Chrissy. I love Chris Gore. I love all those guys, right? And they sometimes have a critical drinker who I've never met, but I'm a big fan. And they have other people that I know as well on the show, like who they have on recently, like Count Dankula, who I know also. So I got a lot of people that I know on the show, but they never have me. And Gary knows me. I don't know why he never has me on the show. They don't like me, guys. I don't know why. I'm an unliked YouTuber, I think, which I don't even understand. Look, I don't make a great effort to hang out with these guys, or like I don't go out of my way to like. I'm not really like a super social person, so maybe that's why. I don't know. I'm not really good at networking. I don't know. For some reason, they never had me on. I actually talked to Gary and I said, dude, you have to have me on. And he was like, oh yeah, for sure. Never called me. He's got this producer, Asian girl. I forgot what they call her. They have like a jokey nickname for her. But she was cool. I hung out with her for like a few hours with her boyfriend. They were awesome people. But I don't know. For some reason, they never have me on. I should go on there though. I think that would be fun. But they've never had me on. All right. Poopa Chalupa has jumped in with $5 and says, why did the Scarecrow get a promotion? Because he was outstanding in his field. That is one of the worst jokes I've ever heard, but I love it. I love it.
So bad, it's good.
Do you understand why he put that on there just to give us $5, maybe? Is it relevant to anything we're talking about? I don't know.
Halloween's coming? I don't know.
Yeah, well, thank you very much for that dad joke. We appreciate it. And we're going to go on to the next story here. This is another one. Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay. You know what was funny? While I was making my White Dudes for Harris video, like parody video, they put this out. And I wrote, I'm currently yeah, go on.
No, I was gonna say, when you showed me this, I was like, is this one of your new parodies? I'm telling you, I did not. For me, this is fake. I still don't believe this.
I'm not 100% sure it's not fake. It's so bad. I don't understand how anyone could think that this would be helpful to Kamala Harris. But I said, look, I'm currently making a comedy ad that is supporting Kamala Harris. It's the ad that I showed you at the top of the show. But my ad is not nearly as funny as this. And I don't understand this. This is supposed to be some kind of viral video. I don't know if it's supposed to be funny. I'm just not sure what this is.
Yeah,
but
I'm lost.
Apparently, it was like the writer of Jimmy Kimmel. Somebody had written a thread like outing all these guys as not real conservatives, but like far left activists and actors. And of course they are. You know that just by looking at it. But I didn't really go through in detail on that, so I'm not super educated on this. But like, let's just watch this because this is the most cringe thing you will ever see in your life. Let's watch this.
I'm a man.
I'm a man.
I'm a man, man.
And I'm man enough. I'm man enough to enjoy a barrel-proof bourbon.
Neat.
Man enough to cook my steak rare.
Man enough to deadlift 500, then braid the out of my daughter's hair.
You think I'm afraid to rebuild a carburetor? I eat carburetors for breakfast.
I ain't afraid of bears.
That's what bear hugs are for.
I'll tell you another thing I sure as shit am not afraid of. Women. I'm not afraid of women. I'm not afraid of women.
They want to control their bodies? I say go for it.
They want to use IVF to start a family? I'm not afraid of families.
They want to be childless cat ladies? Have all the cats you want.
Woman wants to be president? Well, I hope she has the guts to look me right in the eye and accept my full-throated endorsement. Because I'm man enough to support women.
Man enough to know what kind of donuts I like.
Man enough to admit I'm lost, even when I refuse to ask for directions.
Man enough to not ban young women from reading Little Women.
Or one of those pants books that the sisters like. I'm man enough to raw dog a flight. It sucked. Not worth it. I'm man enough to be emotional in front of my wife.
In front of my kids.
In front of my horse.
I'm man enough to tell you that I cry at Love Actually.
Good Will Hunting.
West Side Story. That and Predator.
And I'm sick of so-called men domineering, belittling, and controlling women just so they can feel more powerful.
That's not how my mama raised me.
I love women. I love women who support their families.
Women who decide not to have families.
Women who take charge. And I'm man enough to help them win.
I do not.
That one guy confused carburetor with carbohydrates.
I know that. That's quite funny.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are
pointing.
I think they're just trying to
pointing out. A lot of people pointing out this guy, and they're going, Who sits like this?
Oh, that guy's gay. That's not even funny. I think most of them are, but you know,
Well,
I
but you
think
know what yeah, go on.
I think what they're doing, I think they're actually trying to make like a satire mocking conservative men, and they're trying to make it like, oh, this is their image of what men are, and look, we're making a mockery of it, but they're actually like supporting Harris. Like that's what I think they're doing.
I don't get it. I feel
The
like
left
some of it's
can't meme.
Yeah, that's absolutely 100%. Look, I think what they're trying to do is it was supposed to be funny, but also make be poignant and make a point. But the actors that they chose were really weird beta guys. So there was no distinction between the jokes and the serious stuff.
Yes. Yes.
I'm a man, and this is what it means to be a man. And so you can't really tell.
Because they don't know what a man is. They think that you just put the clothes on and get the scenery right. They think you're good, but the actual man has to be a man. And let me tell you, there are no men in Democrats, so they're not going to find anybody to play those roles, you know. So they have to try to do their best.
Yeah, you know, it's because I don't really think of myself as like a top tier, you know. I don't work on a farm, is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like I'm not the most masculine guy. Like you know, I'm not. I actually have never gone hunting, which I would love to actually go hunting, but I never had friends that go hunting, so I never did it. But and I never been to a shooting range, which I texted you the other day. I was like, I've never been to a shooting range because you know Kamala Harris was like, yeah, I've shot my Glock. Like who has a gun doesn't say specifically what the gun is.
Exactly. That's what I was saying when I was like, what? Yeah, what Glock? Every gun owner will say the Glock they own. A Glock. I have a Glock 42.
Yes, they will specifically say the Glock. Nobody says I have a Glock. What does that even mean?
I have a Glock 42. It's a 380. You know, like, and you'll say the details. You know.
Yes, exactly. And she's like, yes, of course I shot it at the shooting range, where I take my little gun and I shoot my little gun at the shooting range. Probably she's been to a shooting range once. Is probably what happened, and they gave her a Glock, and she didn't know what it was. She just heard the word Glock and she repeated it.
Yeah.
But I've never actually been to a shooting range because in Oregon we just go in the backyards.
Which is the best. I think that's the best. Like that. I hate shooting ranges. I go to it because I live in a big city, but
yeah, of course, yeah. But no, we just have, you know, we just have like the forest. So we go out in the forest. There's no shooting range for us. All right, we got a couple more.
I do go excuse me. I do go up north, Florida, and I've shot in on property, friends' properties outdoors. So yeah, you can do that here too. But
that's genuinely, it's the only place I've ever shot a gun.
Yeah, I love that. I don't like ranges because some ranges have these idiotic people that work there, and it's just annoying.
Yeah. Okay.
But where I go to shoot, it's a very cool place. They have like it's very cool. They have like virtual. I sound like Trump there. Yeah, it's very cool. They have like virtual shooting range where you could actually shoot zombies and moving targets, and it's like a virtual screen and stuff. It's pretty cool.
But you're shooting a real gun.
You're shooting a real gun, and the screen shows like zombies and all kinds of things. It's pretty cool. When you come, if you ever come, we'll go.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That sounds fun. All right, so let's see here. Jason MTT Jayan Mook M. I don't know. He gave us $2 and he says, if you ran for president, who's your VP? Pagans for Trump. Pagans for Trump. If I ran for president, that's a good question, Jason. Who would be my VP? You know, like we said, like the JD Vance is growing on us. But you know what I would want? What are you looking for? Oh, you. Well, okay, but realistically,
I'll tell you what, Chris. I would not do a
Musk
pence on you. I would not do a pence on you. Okay.
That's okay. You're in. You're in. That's it. I would say Elon, but Elon was not born in America, so he can't do it. Unfortunately, he's not an American citizen.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Steel Fang has jumped in. He says,
can you believe that, guys? He would not put me as vice president. Can you believe that? What a friend. Incredible.
I'm not reading this super chat. Jason, you can if you want.
I would not be VP, by the way, anyway, because I got to be the main guy. So take
You
that.
got
Chris.
it. Oh, you got that ego thing. I see. Steel Fang's super chat is too spicy to read. So you guys can read it if you can see the screen. I'm not reading that. All right. Half power,
that's
concrete,
a
and simplified.
great play on words, though. I tell you that.
It was funny. Half power, concrete, and simplified crawfish company. $2. He says, that dude ain't deadlifting 500. Can I deadlift 500? I don't know. Because actually, this is funny. I do all my lifting in Europe. In Europe, or we use kilos, so I have to actually calculate what I can deadlift. Yeah, of course I can deadlift 500, but or maybe no, probably not actually. Because I'm pretty small guy actually.
That's a lot.
I don't look that. I don't know if I look small on screen or not, but I'm quite small actually. I'm 5'10", and I'm pretty thin. Like my muscles don't get big. Like I can't get. Like if I wanted to get really jacked, I would have to do steroids. Actually, a lot of the guys where I am right now, they do steroids, and it's annoying.
Oh no, you got to start something now. Just like the pill you talked about with the food and.
No, I don't think steroids are a bad thing necessarily. I mean, guys should do steroids if they need to.
I agree with you. If it's watched, and your doctor's monitoring it, and it's done in a certain way, I think it could benefit you, especially if you get at an older age. So I'm not anti-steroids at all. Actually, I'm pro steroids. I hope all the athletes, everybody just starts pumping up steroids. We'll have an amazing, awesome entertainment. Imagine all the crazy how sports would be, and man, so interesting.
I will try to petition Trump to legalize steroids for bodybuilding and that kind of thing. If when he wins again, if I get a chance to chat with him, because I think it's silly. Like I think we should have the Canadian rule. Like if you want to do it, but just do it more safely with your doctors, as opposed to these 16-year-old kids just pumping themselves full of crap. They don't know what they're doing. In my case, I don't really want to lose my hair, so I'd rather not. But it is annoying when I go out and every guy is like jacked and they're like legit. You can tell they're all on steroids. Like half the guys where I am, I would say more than half, probably 90% of the guys that are hanging around where I am, they're all on steroids, man. If you go to the gyms over here, they're all on steroids.
Chris, I would prefer you to be on moderation on testosterone and which is like a steroid, than going on that pill that makes you not eat. I'd rather have you on that because I trust that more than
pill. I don't take any pills that don't make you not eat.
Well, whatever you guys were talking about that time, that I forgot the name of it.
I don't remember. Ozempic. Oh, you're talking about Ozempic.
Yes, Ozempic.
Which I think is an injection. No, nobody should take anything they don't need. I mean, everybody should just do. Look, I do think Ozempic is something that people that have a weight problem.
I didn't mean to bring that up. Really?
Why did you though? Why did you? No, but I think steroids.
The comparison.
I think anything that makes you healthier and more fit, people should do.
But I think like the what is it, like a hormone therapy, the testosterone, the steroid thing. I think that's like a part of your system that's in your body. So you're just like replenishing it. I from what I've studied and
I don't know. Like I'm not an expert on any of this stuff. I'm just trying to keep an open mind. A lot of people close their minds off to any pharmaceuticals at this point because of COVID. And I think it might be a mistake. I think, there are some pharmaceuticals that are probably not good for you and you got to be careful, but that shouldn't close your mind to all, to using any kind of Western medicine, I feel like. All right. Let's see that dude.
Yeah, it's true. Just to go back on the Kamala gun thing. It's true. Like Glock is the one thing that everybody says. So obviously she's going to say Glock. Like she wouldn't know, Smith & Wesson, Beretta, all these other Taurus, she wouldn't know any of these, other companies.
No. Yeah, well, Beretta was for many years, wasn't that like the standard issue gun for the police? So she should know that.
Yeah, it was. And the military.
Yeah, and the military.
But they switched. Yeah.
To Glocks, yeah. Ken Thompson jumps in. He says Kamala's Glock may not be legal based on California law changes. Ironic that she may own an illegal firearm. Yeah, that is kind of funny, actually. I doubt she owns a firearm, though. That interview, the way she said that was just so ridiculous. Of course, I've shot it at a shooting range. It just like seems like such a nervous laugh. Like, you don't know a gun, lady.
I just wish when an interviewer would have been like, "What model is it? What is it? Was it what?" Or they should have asked her like, "What is it chambered in?" It would have been like,
"You're asking too much. You're asking too much."
She would have been like, "Well, the chamber is a part of the way things used to be. So now, I don't know." She would have said some crazy thing. I'm trying to say something stupid, but
just on that.
Oh yeah, this is a good one. I'm glad you posted this, actually. Could you imagine? So this guy, Steve Garvey, who I believe was a professional baseball player back in the day, he says, one fundamental difference between Adam Schiff and me is that Mr. Schiff wakes up every day and thinks about Donald Trump. I wake up and I think about helping Californians struggle to survive. I said, could you imagine firing Adam Schiff? So this guy's running for Senate against Adam Schiff, and I'm hoping he has some kind of a chance. Let's hear what he has to say here.
How can you think about one man every day and focus on that when you've got millions of people in California to take care of?
Mr.
I think it's unconscionable. And like I said before, he lied to 300 million people when he was going through that whole process of trying to get Donald Trump impeached.
Mr. Schiff.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Nailing that guy to the wall. I hate Adam Schiff.
Yeah, I want that guy. Is it bad? I say I want that guy to pay for all those years of dragging this country down with that stupidity, and his lies and his he should be up for treason or something, because just lying like that. And
yeah, it's funny that the left keeps talking about how Donald Trump is going to get retribution, and they're acting like this is some kind of like injustice. No. If you get into public office and you hold people accountable for their actual crimes, that's not retribution. That's justice.
Exactly.
That's what's supposed to actually happen, you guys. So this whole thing is like, Trump's going to come after us because we were mean to him. No, Trump's going to come after you because you're criminals and you broke the law.
Yep. They're trying to get ahead of it, so that people will think that when it happens.
Yeah, they're trying to spin it. Yeah, you've got it exactly. All right, let's have a look at the next story. These are great, man. This is a good bunch of stories we got today. It's 9 o'clock. We've been on for almost an hour. No, almost 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
We started at 7, so we're getting close. New results on immigration attitudes from a recent survey. Very liberal and liberal Americans were the most inaccurate regarding the number of migrants who have entered the America's southern border during the Biden-Harris presidency. On average, very liberal and liberal Americans guessed that about 4 million migrants entered. The actual numbers are around 10 million. However, Americans across the political spectrum underestimate this. These data were collected in. That's funny that they say these data, because that's technically accurate. But these data were collected. Yeah.
You see the blue? Low info voters.
Yeah, for real. So very conservative people were actually the closest to being right. And let me just say that, okay, so I don't think 10 million is even right, though. On average, the actual numbers around 10 million entered the southern border. But the thing is,
that's low.
It's an estimate, it's an estimate. How many people crossed in is an estimate because they don't actually know. So I've heard 12 million was, I think, the best guess that I heard, but it could be even more than that. Trump always says like 18 million or something. I don't know why he always makes it such a much bigger number than anybody else says, but I don't know what the number is. If I'm honest, I don't think anybody really knows.
How can you know? Because
we
how
have
many
a
came
baseline.
But how many came in that we don't even know? There has to be
a baseline of knowledge based on like who they've who's accounted for, who they've been able.
But there must be thousands and thousands that are unaccounted.
Right, exactly, because they process a lot of these illegal immigrants that come in weirdly. It's like, why are you processing them? Just send them back. But so they do have a baseline number. Maybe that's what those lower numbers are. Maybe that's the baseline number. I don't know. But then you have to estimate how many people just never got processed. That snuck through.
Yep.
You know, and they don't really know the exact number. Let's see here.
I thought that was a good chart to show.
Yeah, let me read the second one just because I'm interested. It says, in addition, 62% of those identifying as very liberal and 43% identifying as liberal agreed the United States has a moral obligation to provide health insurance to undocumented immigrants. Good Lord. Really? God, these people are so stupid. They don't know how the world works.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is shocking to me. Like,
I think their
how do
numbers
you not understand incentives? Yeah. How do you not understand incentives?
I think their numbers are dwindling. I think the last 4 years have woken up a lot of people, especially in the middle and middle left. I think it's woken up a lot of people to realize, okay, maybe we were wrong about all this. So, yeah.
I hope you're right. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and remove that. And we're going to look at the next story. UK law would force hold on. Okay. UK nanny state law would force pubs to employ banter police. And this is a warning from free speech advocates. All right.
Whatever they're doing in England, whatever they're doing in Europe, or whatever they're doing in England, that's a test for what they want to do here. The Democrats, that's exactly what they want to do here.
Yeah, for sure. Apparently not content with merely policing speech on the internet or on the streets, the leftist Labour Party government in Britain is reportedly looking to pass legislation which would crack down on supposedly offensive comments made in pubs. Jiminy Christmas. You gotta be kidding me. The government of Prime Minister. Oh, he's a sir? He's been knighted? I actually didn't know that. That's disgusting, actually. Keir Starmer, and its impending employment rights bill, would change equality laws in Britain to mean that employers would be held responsible for their employees being offended by third parties like the customers of the general public.
This is nuts.
I don't even want to read this. I'm so disgusted. The law would require businesses and public institutions to take all reasonable steps to prevent harassment based on so-called protected characteristics from happening within their premises. Free speech. So if you walked into a pub and the waiter comes and he's like, "What can I get you for your order?" And you go, "Why are you talking gay?" Then you go to jail, apparently.
Yeah.
You're fine or something. You know, it's actually fun. You know, I told you I met this.
Or you walk in there, you're like, this is great. There are no Muslims in here. You're going to go to jail. You're going to go to jail.
I think I told you I met this Dutch guy.
I don't know if people got what I said there, but
you're going to go to jail. That's what you said.
But I don't think they got the joke because Muslims can't drink alcohol.
Oh, that's quite clever. Although the Muslims I know do definitely drink alcohol.
Exactly.
But okay, so I met this. I was telling you, I met this Dutch guy the other night, and I said to him, like, if you don't like Trump, you're probably not gonna like me, right? And so he reaches out to like shake my hand, so I shake the guy's hand, and he's got some kind of like, right here, he's got like some kind of like double triangle tattoo thing. And I know like that the triangle, upside down triangle, is used to indicate like gay stuff, like LGBTQ stuff. So I don't really know what his tattoo is. I don't know if it's meant to be like that or anything. And he's like, "No, I don't like Trump. I'm like, "Well, then you're not going to like me, man." And he's like, "No, I think we should talk, blah, blah, blah." And I'm like, okay, fair enough. He goes to shake my hand. I shake his hand and I look at the tattoo and I go, you even got like a gay tattoo. Like I said this out loud, and the girl we were with just started dying laughing. She thought it was hilarious. And to his credit, to this guy's credit, he laughed also, and he was still cool, and we still chatted. So I actually respect this guy, even though he's a leftist. I respect that he wanted to talk, and I respect that he laughed at the joke. So there are some lefties out there. That's actually kind of why I like Europeans, actually, a bit. Like, I prefer European leftists to American leftists, because European leftists are kind of a little bit more willing to talk, like the ones I've met in like Sweden. And they're actually a little bit more middle. They're not really crazy. They're just, I think they try to know the truth, even though it's tough. I mean, if you're a leftist, how do you know the truth? Sheriff says, man with multiple guns, fake. Now, okay, I actually didn't want to cover this story. This is supposedly another assassination attempt, but let me just throw this out.
Just give a mention.
I'm not sure this is legitimate, and I'll tell you why. So I have a friend. She's not really a friend, but she's somebody I've met a couple of times, named Mindy Robinson. And I love Mindy Robinson. She's a little bit crazy. I don't think she'd mind me saying that. If you know her on X, or if you've met her in real life, she's a little nuts. I mean, she is a very strong Trump supporter, very passionate girl. She's actually the girlfriend of Randy Couture, weirdly. Very beautiful girl. And she's always at CPAC. That's where we met. We ended up meeting up at CPAC. But she used to be an actress in Hollywood, and she was on a show that I like to watch called King of the Nerds from many, many years ago. It was a great show. And I remember seeing her online and going, is that the chick from this show that I used to watch? And it was. And I'm like, oh, she's a conservative activist chick. So I met her at CPAC, and I'm like, hey, I actually used to watch you on this show. And she was like, I love that show. So we kind of became friends that way. But and she's actually FaceTimed Randy Couture, and I was like, hey man, that's great. We were at this bar, and she almost choked this guy out. It was crazy. But anyway, yeah, so she's a little nuts. But she goes on to like X, and she starts writing like, look, this guy with the fake passes and the guns and all this stuff in his car. She's like, I know that guy actually. And she goes, he's a legitimate Trump supporter. He's not interested in like executing Trump. He's a legitimate Trump supporter. She's like, I think this might have been staged or something, because I think he was like outing people and exposing some stuff. And so I don't know what's going on with that story. So that's the reason I didn't really want to cover it, because I feel like
no, it's good.
That one,
I like no, I'm glad we did it, because you're saying things that I didn't know about. So perfect.
Yeah. So I don't know. Look, it could be a legitimate thing. The guy might have had like a mental break. This kind of stuff happens where people just like lose their mind and they, whatever. But I don't know.
In the comments, everybody's saying he's conservative. He's a Trump supporter. So maybe he's just a guy that had a conservative that had a bunch of guns in his car.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just don't know. So I'm just putting that out there that I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the whole story. And I don't want to jump to conclusions. I don't think anybody should.
But but guys, like, if you're gonna go to a Trump rally or something, please
don't take a bunch of
don't take up exactly, because what's going on, it doesn't look good with all the assassination attempts and all that. So I mean,
leave the guns.
I respect your Second Amendment, and I'm a total gun fanboy, but like in a Trump rally.
Yeah, this guy. Do you have your guns behind you right now? No, you don't. Normally he has like guns on the wall and everything.
No, yeah, that was the other day. I had a different setup.
Yeah, different setup. But yeah, this man has a collection. Let's call it. It's not quite the Gorka collection. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that. I don't know if Gorka would like me admitting this, but I'm not going to go into detail. But let's just say I have never seen so many guns in my life.
Chris, one day when I have the money,
yeah,
I'm gonna have a room just for weapons. So,
bro, if you ever go to DC, you will visit Gorka, and you will see his arsenal, and you will call me, and you will go, holy crap, Chris! You told me, but I was not prepared. It is
well. My strategy was I need a weapon for every situation, right? So home invasion, hunting, fun. So I have a gun or a. Damn, I'm trying to find the proper word for
a weapon for every occasion.
Yeah. So I don't like weapon, but I have a tool for every situation, and that was my goal. Now, if I come into a lot of
Okay.
money, I'm just gonna buy a bunch of things I've always wanted. You know, like that soft, you know. I'd get my license to be able to have a freaking automatic rifles and stuff like that.
Yeah, guns are cool, man. It's just true. It's funny,
but
'cause,
it's
like,
an
at the end of-
expensive. It's an expensive hobby.
Yeah, for real. Guns are cool. All right, so let's go ahead and check the next story here. Share screen. Yes, let's have a look at this. Reminder that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are no friend of hunters and gun owners. The Harris Walz ticket is an existential threat to our Second Amendment freedoms. Let's have a look. Is he struggling here? What's going on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It never fits quite right. Never fits quite right. It's not quite right. How do you give it back?
Load it? What is it doing?
Beretta A400. I bought it when I was shooting a lot of crap.
If you're,
It has a kind of their patented thing.
he's trying to make it like he's trying to talk it off like.
Like, you know, yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to talk like, oh, hey, I'm just talking here. You know, I'm not really like, I don't know what I'm doing here, but I'm going to talk, make it look like I do know what I'm doing, you know, and like, why have the weapon ready before he, like, if you're going to set this up, you know, I mean, these people are.
Let me just say quickly, I'm not really a gun guy, right? I have one gun, which everybody makes fun of me for. Gorka makes fun of me. You make fun of me. But I've never been hunting. I'd love to go hunting. I will eventually. I'm not familiar with these guns. Like, I'm not familiar with like Gorka is, or like you are. I'm not familiar. But I don't pretend that I am.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't pretend that I am. Like, it looked to me like he was trying to get the shells out of the gun. I don't even know what he was doing there. But
they're trying to make like it's that whole masculine thing. They're trying to make them like they're masculine and all that stuff. Like you don't have to prove that. You don't have to prove that.
Exactly.
But they're trying to prove that. You know,
That's
like
what
having a gun does not make you masculine. It does not make you a man. You know, I mean, it comes along with it. I mean, that's eventually.
No, it is cool. I mean, having a gun guns are cool. They're a lot of fun. I just never got into them. But it's a natural part of being a guy. You like cars, you like guns, you like that kind of stuff. Tim Walz is pretending to like that stuff. But you know what's interesting? It's like, who is the most, I would say, the potential president that most masculine men look up to and go, we want this guy to be president? It's not a gun guy, actually. It's not a car guy, really.
No.
You know, it's not a guy that goes and chops wood, right? It's a guy that's good at business.
Yeah,
He knows
exactly.
economics. He understands negotiation, right? There's different kinds of things that you can do as a man. You know, it's actually really funny. We had to go buy a gift. You know, I'm out here and I'm like, you know, in a kind of I would say a third world country. Okay, I'm in a third world country. And so you can barter when you buy stuff, you know. And we had to go buy gifts for this girl for her birthday. And so me and this girl, Rebecca, who did the cinematography on my film, we go to get her some presents, and we had to buy like you watching the chat again? We had to go buy. we went and we bought her like a bag. This girl picked out a bunch of things. She picked out like a bag. She picked out a pair of sunglasses, and she picked out a nice dress, right? And the dress was actually pretty expensive, but the sunglasses and the I shouldn't say this because maybe she's watching, but the sunglasses in the bag, I think, were like designer knockoffs, you know, because we're like in a third world country. You can get these knockoffs. And we didn't have time to go to the mall, so we couldn't buy like the real stuff. We like literally, there's the only thing we could get. So we go into this, I don't know, they call it like a bazaar where you can just like barter and negotiate with these guys. And she looks at this purse and she says, how much is this bag? And the guy goes, I can't really explain the money here, but it was 500,000 rupiah. Okay, it's 500,000 rupiah, which sounds like an insane amount of money, but it's actually like, I would say $30, right? And I knew that was the ripoff price because I got this, you know, blue-eyed European girl. And so I go, ha 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 ha. I go, no. I go, you'll get no. Then she says, well, how about 300? And I go, shit, no. I go, I'll give you 200. That's it. And the guy goes, 250. I go, fine. I give him the 250, and that's it. And we leave. And the girl went like this. Like she was kind of, I think she thought it was kind of sexy, which wasn't really what I was going for. You know, I just thought, all right, you're not going to rip us off. Like, I mean, I think we were still ripped off, if I'm honest. But it was clearly, I mean, I probably could have said 100,000. I probably could have got it for 150. But and then I went to get the sunglasses, and I knew he was going to rip us off with the sunglasses too. So I didn't even give him a chance to give us a price. I just go, I'll give you 100,000 for this. The guy goes 150, and I go, okay. And I give him the 150, and we left. And again, her jaw's on the floor, like, how are you doing this? You know, and there was something very sexy to her about a guy who could just be like, nope, we're doing this, whatever. There's something about a man negotiating that, I don't know, women are like, oh, that's really cool, you know? And Trump's got that, you know, that's kind of sexy to women, I would say. I don't know all women, but that's a masculine thing as well. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make is there's different kinds of masculinity. There's different stuff that guys do that, you know, I think are, you know, not necessarily what you naturally think, like driving a truck and shooting a gun, but that are still valuable, you know, as a man. And whatever it is that Trump's got, okay, like, for instance, he tells the truth. He's a kind of no BS type of guy. I think that that's what the guys really relate to. And it's like totally the opposite of what Tim Waltz does. What does Tim does? Total inauthenticity, right? He waves with both hands like this. This is the gayest stuff I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
What is that? Wave with one hand, guy. You don't need. What is this? It's weird.
It's like a 2-year-old.
It's like a.
But even my 2-year-old doesn't. My 2-year-old waves his hand like a man. He's like, hello, you know, or goodbye. One hand. I think it's more like a person with a special needs person, you know, like.
Exactly. Steel Fang jumped in with $5. He says, my home is haunted by a couple of ghost guns.
Good
Whoa,
one.
I don't think we should be admitting that.
Exactly.
We didn't read that one.
Yeah.
No comment.
Ghost that message.
I did. I think it might be on the internet forever now. It's funny. It's a good comment, though. That's pretty funny. He's joking.
No, but you look at that. I went pheasant hunting once in Illinois, and it was awesome, man. It was awesome. I had so much fun. So I did actually what he did. I did that, and let me tell you that it's so awesome. Like, we went because I want to hunt a lot. Yeah, like that's a thing with, especially with my son. I want to go hunting with him a lot. But when I went there, they had this place. It was like the hunters lounge. So they had this place where you go to, you hang out, all the hunters are there. And man, I felt it was the most awesome experience. I was there talking with men, and we were talking about hunting. We were talking about all manly things, sitting there with all the animals hanging there. And you know, like, it looked like a log. It was like a kind of log cabin-ish. And we were just talking there. I was like, man, I feel good right now. You know, usually I miss my wife, and I'm like, oh, I want to be with my wife. And, you know, but in that moment I was like, so it was just such an awesome thing. And then we went out, we hunted, we shot a whole bunch of pheasants, brought them back. I go to the guy, and he's like showing me how to like prep them for like eating and all that. Yeah. And then we go back into the place, and then we're talking with the guys again, talking about what we went through throughout the day, you know, and it's just nothing like it, Chris. Nothing like it.
I'm jealous. I'm not gonna lie. I'm jealous. I would love to be there with you. You know, it's interesting. Like, even if you do, so like I call my job bitch work, actually. Right, having a YouTube channel and talking about like doing political analysis, you know, politics. I call it bitch work because it's not really manly work. I actually don't think it's good for you as a man to do work like this. But every once in a while, like, I go back to see the family in Oregon, and like the last time I went, my parents' well had busted, so we had to go out. We had to dig it all out, and we had a digger, but then we ended up digging up. We ended up digging up a pipe, so we had to go dig it by hand. And we ended up spending like a couple hours just digging this stuff by hand. You know?
Felt good, right?
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Like, okay, it wasn't exactly fun, but you kind of have to do that stuff every once in a while. And we built a fence. Like,
no,
we put up a
but
fence.
but after, don't you feel like real accomplishment? Like it's
even,
hard work.
Even doing it, it's almost like, I mean, when you're actually when you have to do that stuff every day, I don't think you really like it. But if you don't do it like for a long time, if you don't do any manly work, like the work men should do, man, when you finally get to do that stuff, you're like, oh, this is like my natural habitat again, you know? And actually, one point, you know, because I used to basically my whole life, anytime you date a girl or anything, like you have even a female friend, you will be called to do certain tasks, you know, around the house, especially something like lighting the pilot for a stove or something like, you know what I mean? Like that kind of thing.
My wife loves it. When I build something or I fix something in the house, she's like, that's why I married you. You see?
Yeah.
You know how to do these things. I don't have to call somebody. You can do it.
Yeah. And so like, I don't remember when this was maybe 10 years ago or something. One of my exes who happened to live in the same town as me, she calls me up and she goes, "Hey, Chris, I'm having a problem with, I don't think it was for a stove. It might've been for like the heater or something. I can't remember, but there was a pilot light that needed to be lit. Something needed to happen. She couldn't figure out how to do it. So I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, be over in like an hour. So I go over to her place and she's got it all done. And I go, well, how'd you do it? And she goes, oh, I went on YouTube. I'm like, oh, no. Like YouTube is taking my man work away from me. I mean, this girl is a pretty tough girl. Russian, you know, from Ukraine. She's a Ukrainian girl. It's just she was tough. You know, she could do all kinds of like crazy stuff you wouldn't expect. Yeah, she was a tough girl, but it annoyed me a little bit because I thought, man, the internet kind of took that away from us a little bit. Now, a lot of girls, they won't take the time to learn that kind of stuff and do it, but if they wanted to, they could very easily do a lot of the stuff that it used to be that we would have to know how to do, that your dad taught you, you know.
They can try. They can try. I don't think they can do it as a guy does it, but you know, I would talk to my wife at times, and I tell her, you know, we weren't meant to be in an office, in a desk, you know. We were meant to be outdoors. We were meant to like farm or work outside and do some, like we weren't meant to be cooped up. That's why I think the country and everything is getting all screwed up, because it's soft. Everything's gotten soft.
That's my number one thing, actually. I've been talking to some people about this. I don't think anyone really agrees with me, but people are always worried about seed oils and all these like little things in their food. They're like, oh my God, so much work. No, you're eating better than you've ever eaten in your entire existence, right? Are there some crappy things in the food? Yeah, probably. We'll try to get those out with RFK Jr. But listen, guys, the reason that you're fat, the reason that you're out of shape is because life has become too easy.
Yeah.
We've all become sedentary. You can call your Uber Eats. You can sit at your computer. You know, you can watch Game of Thrones or play a video game or whatever it is. Never move. Never get off the couch for a week, for a month, for a year. Just sit there and get fat. And I think it's because we just don't move that much anymore. You know, and I'm guilty of it too. You know, it's tough because the world has just become like, technology has made the world so much better. Like I love being here, like riding the motorcycle, which you always make fun of me.
The moped?
I have a moped, which I do not have.
Guys, did you see the video? Isn't it a moped? Come on.
I mean, it's not a cool motorcycle. It's kind of like a lame, cheap Asian-y thing, but I like it. I like that motorcycle. I like riding it around. And
wait, one second, Chris. 1 second. Daisy writes, my man was renovating our new house. 9 months later, we had our first child. Exactly.
Way to go, Daisy's husband. That's great. Yeah, I mean, exactly. Yeah. But even just like riding the motorcycle around is, I mean, you are moving a lot more. It's a lot more physical than jumping in the car. And I don't know, man. I just feel like we need to get back. We need to figure something out. It ends up becoming a choice eventually, because I think historically we didn't have a choice. We had to be physically active. And now we don't really have a choice in the sense that we almost have to be lazy. Like we almost have to be sedentary most of the time because the way things are set up,
Yep.
you don't really have a choice. A lot of people's jobs are sitting at a desk,
Yeah.
you know, 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day, 12 hours, 16 hours a day.
And you know,
so yeah.
No, I was just saying, you know, I think like if it was to reverse, like men were back to getting like raising their families in a way of they have to provide for their families as far as food and get out there and work out in the fields or something like whatever. I think there'd be less depression, less mental issues.
1,000 times.
You know,
yeah.
I think the situation we're in now, it's not what God meant for us, and it's just screwing up men, especially.
And that's I totally agree with you. I don't know how to fix it other than to say that we have to make people aware of the fact that they have to make a conscious decision to not have an easy life. And that's the weird thing, like physically an easy life. I mean, in other ways too, probably, but you really just have to figure out ways. And this is actually kind of why I like living outside the US right now. Like I like people, I'm not living outside the US. I'm really just kind of traveling and moving around, but living in the US is too easy. And it's detrimental to people's health, I think, which it sounds crazy because America really is. I mean, listen, as somebody who traveled, just let me give you my word. The United States is the best country in the world. Hands down, it is the best country in the world. Okay. But
for now,
it is for now. Yeah, true. Yeah. Let's see what happens in November. It could be better, of course. You know, right now it's like not as good as it could be, but it's the best country in the world. But it's too good. It's actually gotten too good. Things have gotten too easy. We're too technologically advanced, and life is too. It's not hard enough.
Yeah,
and people have to make a conscious decision to make their lives harder, a little bit more difficult, you know. And it's for those people who go to the gym all the time and they're just like, oh, just go to the gym, bro. It's like all good. Like, what the heck? What's your problem? No, not everybody likes going to the gym. Like
my dad was so super strong. I've never like I'd go to the gym, I'd work out. I worked out a lot back in the day, but my dad never went to a gym, never worked out like that.
Yeah.
But that man was like the strongest man I've ever known in my life. Like
my
I don't know,
grandpa was like that.
You know, and I'm trying to lift something. Like we would move out of a house or something, and I'm over here trying to lift it. I'm like, hey, that help, and he would get mad at me. He's like, wait, you can't lift that. But the strength on this man was amazing, and it was just that natural strength from like working all his life, you know. And
my grandpa was like that. He had a farm, and we had to like turn this flywheel once. He was trying to get this old farm machine to work. This is what he was trying to sell it. I mean, it was old. I mean, this is old machinery. He's trying to get this flywheel to go, and so we're spinning it, and I'm spinning as hard as I can, and then he jumps in there, and I was probably like 20, and he was like 80 or in his 70s. And he was going as hard as I am. I'm like, how is this possible? How is this possible? It was like blowing my. He was stronger than me. Like, how are you stronger than me?
It used to annoy the hell out of me too. I'd be like, my dad was older. And I'd be like, what? I hate this. Why are you stronger than me, Dad?
My grandma. He probably wasn't.
And the funny thing is, he'd shove it in my face. He'd shove it in my face, and I'd be like, but I loved it. I mean.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool when your elders are strong. It's cool. All right, let's have a look at the next story. This is
by the way, why didn't Huff pour super chat this one? He says, "Come down here, boys. We will duck, goose, and deer hunt." I'm down. If you're serious, I am so down for that.
I feel like to me, deer hunting is more interesting to me because I don't know that whole stalker thing, but like stalker. That sounds. You know what I mean? But the bird thing is fun, I think, is more social, right? That's my guess. It would be.
It's all fun. It's all fun, but I really want to go deer hunting. That's like what I really want to do. And if he's serious, I'm serious. If you're serious, let me know. Let us know, because I've been really wanting to
slip into his
somebody.
DMs, Hoff Power. Okay, hold on a second. All right, this is a thing. This is a story about Elon Musk, and it's pretty cool. Let's have a look at this. This is, I mean, you've probably seen it, but let's have a look at it.
Landing burn 13 ignited. We're now down to 3 Raptor engines. We can see those chopsticks now
Look at that, man. Oh. See what government can't do.
That's incredible.
This is absolutely insane. On the first ever attempt, we have successfully caught the Super Heavy booster back at the launch tower. What an incredible
Are you kidding me? It is a little bit weird, right? Because they're
it's weird, but I love Elon for this, because I wrote it in a post in X. I was like, finally, a billionaire is actually, let me find my post. So I can.
It's a cool thing. I mean, this is like the Super Bowl for nerds, but it is a hell of an achievement. And like the woman said, it's their first ever real attempt at this, and they've nailed it.
Here.
You can never rest and say, oh, probably on the second one we'll get it because we got it on the first one.
Yeah,
maybe the second one will fail. I don't know, but hey, it looks pretty good,
No, I love this. I love this.
Yeah.
I love Elon. He's the only billionaire who is actually creating things that will benefit humanity. He's also developing innovations that should have been made decades ago, but have been held back by elitists who care only about power and wouldn't mind if humanity regresses to the Stone Age. And that's what I love about Elon. Like he's actually doing it. Like
100%.
This stuff should have been done decades ago. NASA should have done this way long time ago. Like the things he's doing, even when the robot. I'm like, what? People are freaking out about that, but I'm not. I'm like, this is great. This is when I was a kid. This is what I wanted to see.
I was they have that like a robot bartender. Have you seen the robot bartender?
Yeah. I love it. He's like denying the guy, and then he's like, okay.
That's funny, man. Well, I sent that robot bartender to a girl I know who is a bartender, and but she's very young. She's like 23. She just turned 24, and and she was like, I don't know how to flirt with guys. Actually, she's like, guys never take me on dates. She's like, guys just want to take me home from the nightclub or something like that, but they never want to take me on dates. And she goes, and if I like a guy, I don't really know how to let him know that I like him. And so I go, okay, showing a guy that you like him is very easy. I said, just when you talk to him, just touch his arm lightly. That's all you have to do. Just touch his arm lightly. He'll know that you like him. And I said, also, as a bartender, excellent way to get tips. I just like touch his arm lightly as you're giving him the beer, whatever it is, and you'll get a better tip. You'll maybe 50% more, maybe 100% more. I don't know. And she goes, "Oh, I couldn't do that. I'm like, all right, then don't get the better tip. I don't know, like whatever. I'm just telling you how to.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you how it works." And she's like, "Yeah, okay." And so I sent her this bartending video, and she texts me back. She goes, "Don't let Elon know about the arm touch trick because otherwise I'm screwed." I thought it was great. Like once he teaches the robot that arm touch trick, he's like, we're all out of work. I thought that was quite funny. Like, nah, it's not a cute girl, so I think you're all right. But yeah, you're right. Elon is developing actually cool stuff.
Yeah. Like what he's doing. Every time he comes out with something, I'm just totally amazed. I'm like, wow, this is finally. Elon, start with the flying cars.
Well, I keep advocating the shoe bomb detector, so I don't have to watch her get off their disgusting, stinky shoes and socks in the friggin' airport. But I really respect excellence of any kind. So like elite athletes, I really respect them. Like Olympians, I really respect that. But also stuff like this. Like this is the Olympics of space travel and technological advancement. I mean, this stuff is amazing. I have so much respect for this.
When he started SpaceX, I was like, I don't know. I thought it was like a gimmick. Many years ago, I was like, what is this? He's just he's gonna make more billions off of just faking out, like tricking people again, you know. But it's turning out to be like, this is what I'm saying. Like, it's a private company. Look at what they're doing. They don't have the government bureaucracy behind it, and look at the accomplishments that's happening with this. You know, even that spacewalk with that they had. He had one of his guys do the spacewalk in that outfit. I'm like, why is their outfit so cool? Like, not bulky, and then you have, I know the reasons behind it, but it's still he's trying to like make strides in technology and all this stuff. He's thinking outside of the box, you know, and that's what I love about it. Like, you don't have a lot of that lately. Like back in 200 years ago, 300, what did they do? They left Europe. They went in a boat that who knows if they'll ever come back, but they went and they risked their lives, you know? It's just not there anymore.
Yeah. We need to have a much more adventurous spirit again, I think, as Americans. We have the fighter spirit. We have the spirit of independence. But we don't have the adventurer. We don't have the explorer spirit so much anymore.
The thing is, everything that's happening now is like to go against humanity. It's like bringing us down and destroying us, like all these people in power and stuff. And then you have this one guy, Elon Musk, that's the opposite. He's doing the opposite. And I'm just.
Yeah. Well, what's weird to me is that anyone would not vote for Trump and Elon Musk and RFK Jr. These guys that I believe are really trying to help the world, and I don't agree with all of their positions on everything all the time. But dang, man, I mean, look at the alternative. You're looking at the chat again.
No, Hoffpour is back. He's back, and he's he's writing. He was gone for a while, so he came back, and
Go on.
Liking what he's saying. Could you put? He says, "Oh, you want me to read?" He says, "Sorry, was putting the kids to bed. Yes, I can put you on ducks and geese. Father-in-law can put you on deer, no problem. Perfect.
Crazy, man.
Also, he writes, could put you on gator too, but you boys ain't ready for that. Oh, I'm ready. You underestimate me.
Yeah, but are you hunting them just with like a Bowie knife? That's the question.
Oh, no, I ain't ready for that. I ain't ready for that. I have a nightmare because I live in Florida. My nightmare is crashing into a canal or into a swamp and then being swarmed by alligators. That's like a reoccurring nightmare for me.
Me and your brother went out to
the Everglades,
the Everglades in a canoe once. And I don't know where we ended up. I don't know how we ended up in this weird place, but it was, I mean, I think there were more alligators than there was water. I mean, we were in some like pond little area. There were so many alligators that were hitting the bottom of the canoe. They're like hitting it.
Yeah, I've done that too. Yeah.
I mean, I don't, there's very rare in life that I'm like genuinely like afraid. And I thought, okay, if we tip over, we will die.
Yeah.
You're
gonna be like tore up into pieces.
Yeah. So we're like being very careful. We're rowing very carefully, trying to get out of there. Not to try to not hit the alligators with our oars.
Yeah, it's scary. I've done that. It's scary. Yeah.
There's some places in Florida. I mean, I'm sure there's some guys that are like used to that stuff. And they're like, yeah, whatever. It's just
that's what I'm saying. You have some guys living there in freaking huts in the middle of the swamp, and it's like nothing to them. They're not worried at all.
Yeah, but if you're like an Oregon boy like me, and you go into the swamps with these alligators, oh, it's scary, man. It's actually scary. Anyway.
Yeah, no. Back to the Elon thing. Like, it's amazing what he's doing. Like, and I wasn't a fan of him like many years ago. But man, he's just turned into this. I'm just grateful that like we have somebody like that exists right now. from all these other
He's a
people
cool
that are
guy.
just lunatics and just want
But
to destroy this
You know
world.
what I think? I think like for us, it's actually amplified a million times. Like I would like, even if he was a leftist, I'd be like, yeah, he's doing some cool stuff. Like, let's be honest. But the fact that he's kind of woken up to the political stuff and he's like on our side, man. And obviously, I like him because he posted my video and congratulated me on winning my case and everything. So
yeah, exactly. No, before he was like turned into conservative or supported Trump and all that, I started liking him. That was the only thing I had. I was like, man, I wish he was kind of on our side. And let me tell you, when that happened, I was like, this is so awesome. Like, this is perfect.
Yeah, it's like the only good thing Obama did ever was like, I think he invested in Tesla. Oh man, my battery. Hold on.
Mr. Reagan's gone black. Mr. Reagan's gone black.
Is that a racial joke?
No, it sounded like one. Yeah, it didn't sound right. Racist. That didn't sound right.
That's racist. We back.
Black Lives Matter, Chris. You did it for a second there. Black screen.
Do you want me to try these? These are dried mangoes from Singapore. I know that's random, but I'm
try it. Yeah,
curious. I'm gonna try one. All right, but let's look at one of the last few stories we got here. All right, this is the other. Sorry, let me get rid of that one. Remove. Stop screen. Present. I don't know why you sent me that twice.
I did.
All right, here we go. Yeah, I think so. All right, this is a news story of Clyburn. I am concerned about black men voting for Trump. Let's have a look.
He's concerned they're losing their vote.
5 minutes.
But I'm sure that'll work out too.
Here with me now is South Carolina Congressman Jim Clyburn. Thank you so much for being here. You just heard Donald Trump making his appeal to black men quite explicit. Your friend, Congresswoman Debbie Dingell, who you campaigned with in Michigan, says that the message she's hearing from black men is, quote, Democrats take us for granted. Donald Trump talks to us directly. Are you concerned about black men voting for Trump?
What?
Well, no.
Okay, I don't care about the ad. Let's just talk about it.
There's a quote is what he says is in the article. So,
crap. I need to I'm turning my brightness down. But here's the thing about the black guys voting for Trump. I always thought, I'm going to turn this down, but I'm going to keep talking. I've always thought that politicians in general were too, like, I don't know what the word is. We're too sort of pandering to black people in a way that was like, I always thought it was kind of patronizing.
Yes.
Because they say like, oh, what, you got a black friend, so you're not racist? Yes, I have black friends, and so I am not racist. You morons. Okay. Like I grew up with one of my very good friends. Oh, my brother's calling me. Let's find out what he has to say. Hey, I'm doing my live stream. You want to talk to America?
What are you doing?
I'm doing my live stream. Do you want to talk to America?
No, I just want your password for Hulu.
Okay, I'll call you back.
All right. Have a good live stream. Hello, America.
Hello. Later, John. So, do I even have Hulu anymore? I got to check that out. Because I subscribed to all of them at one point because I'm just trying to see everything that's going on. Anyway, so I always thought like if I was running for political office and I had like a black constituency, I would be like, look, black culture isn't necessarily good for black people. You've got these problems with black culture and we're not addressing them because we got to say if black people are perfect, I don't want to be seen like I'm racist. And I would say, and you know who agrees with me? Black people. Because they realize that they're like, oh, what would be a good idea to stop arresting black criminals because it's racist. No, because you know where those black criminals go to commit their crimes most of the time? Black neighborhoods. They commit crimes against other black people.
Yep.
if it's a criminal, that's a criminal. It doesn't really matter what their skin color is. Like, to me, that's the kind of thing that you need to say. And Trump's kind of like that. He just doesn't. I don't know. This whole thing about like, oh, we got to be super, super nice to the delicate black people. They're not that delicate, you guys. Like, black people can take it. If you want to tell them the truth, they can take it.
And that's what Trump does. He tells them the truth. He doesn't care
Exactly.
you're black,
He tells
white, Spanish.
And I've always said that. I've always said, if you tell the truth, black people are kind of no BS people. They always say keeping it real, keeping it real. That's their way. That's their like hood rat way of saying no BS, which is like a redneck way of saying keeping it real. But yeah, I mean, keeping it real or no BS, it means the same thing. And what it means is you just tell the truth, even if it's ugly, even if it's not what people want to hear. And black culture, actually, they like that. And Trump likes that. So I think that black people are like, yeah, Trump's a little bit more like us than the Democrats, because the Democrats have been BSing us for years. And they're finally starting to get like, okay, this is a con, right? Because they keep telling us they're going to improve the black community. But then black people are still kind of like in a crappy situation. All right, so this is a chocolate-covered dried mango from Singapore that my friend brought me. Let's see if it's any good. Anyway, you got anything to say about that?
That's interesting. Chocolate dried mango chip.
Mm-hmm. I'll tell you how it is in a second.
Okay.
You're not going to talk about this. How Trump talks to black guys?
Yeah, not only that, like him, them trying to put him in prison, an innocent man in prison, is also helping his cause with the black people. So, because they for some reason they feel like that's what's going on with them, and I can't, I'm not gonna deny it. Maybe I'm not gonna say everybody that goes to prison. Some, maybe a small percentage, 1% were wrongly accused, but like if that's the way they feel, Trump is actually winning them with that. So,
what was fun? I saw this interview with 50 Cent the other day. I was looking up some 50 Cent stuff, and they said, "What do you think? How do you think black people are going to vote?" And he goes, "Oh, they're going to vote for Trump." And they go, "Why do you think that?" He goes, "Because of the RICO charges."
Yeah. You know what's funny? You know what's funny about that? Like most of the black rappers are all leaning towards Trump, and then you have the one stupid white rapper Eminem, I don't even know, whatever, going against Trump. It's like, dude, you're white. I get why you're going against Trump, because you feel like, you know, if you support Trump, you're gonna lose your like black card or something. I don't know, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Eminem needs to like work twice as hard as all the other rappers for respect, because
like he's major TDS. Eminem, you know, it's like, okay.
Yeah. I would have thought that was that good, but it's actually quite nice.
I don't really like it because
I don't really like that dark chocolate fruit thing normally, but that actually is not bad. I'm quite happy with that. I'll tell her, you know, it was a nice little gift. All right, let me jump into the last stories we got here. We got a couple more. You got a lot this week.
Yeah, there's some good stuff.
We're going.
You should put the one with the black guy.
This one.
Uh-huh.
Kamala chose a white husband. Why can't black men choose a white president? Let's have a look.
Kamala chose a white husband. Why can't black men choose a white president?
Genius.
I kind of like the way he says it is kind of cool, and he's got like, he's tatted up like he looks like a psychopath.
Yeah.
Like he looks.
You
like
know, a lot of people, especially Democrats, will look at these black men and stuff and think they're like ignorant, dumb, and they don't know any better because they're the real racists.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, some of these black men and all that stuff, especially people like that look like this, they're actually really smart. If you sit down and talk with them.
No, I got a friend in LA. His name's Loza Alexander. He did this song. You know, it was Let's Go Brandon, Go Biden. He did that song. It was like a huge hit song. And I know the other rappers as well, but he's the one that lived in LA, so we kind of became buddies. And he's got this thing where he's tatted up everywhere. and he eventually, like, he kind of became a devoutly religious Christian and a conservative. But before that, he was more of like your typical sort of like ghetto life, you know. I don't know what he was doing exactly, but that's when he got all the tattoos and stuff. So he came on my show once, and I go, so what's with all the tattoos? Because to me, like, the tattoos that you wear, that you have, it kind of indicates this sort of like idea like you're a scary person, right? Like your tattoos kind of look scary. So the idea is like, I'm tough, get away from me, stay away from me, I will kill you. You know, I've got tattoos on my face, I'm a psycho, you know, this kind of thing. So why did you do the tattoos? Like, what is that? And I expected him to kind of explain to me something about it. He goes, I was just stupid. It was like, that was before, when I was dumb. It was a mistake, whatever. I wasn't expecting that answer, to be honest. But like, to me, when I was interviewing that guy, it didn't occur, like, my thought wasn't, I don't respect this guy, and therefore, you know, I got to be careful how I talk to him so I don't expose my disrespect. I actually respected him. Like, I talked to him ahead of time. He's a very intelligent guy. And so I have genuine respect for him, and I like it. I actually genuinely liked him. So I think that's what it kind of comes down to. When I was interviewing him, I could say something like that, which was, you know, quite a bit confronting, I would say. But because I genuinely respected him and liked him, it's not really that confronting, because I think he knew that. He knew that I liked him. He knew I respected him. And there was no fear of me exposing the fact that I don't respect him, I don't like him, because he's like some dumb black guy. Because I didn't think that. I genuinely didn't think that. But I think with the left, they do think it. I think with the left, they do think it. And so that's,
and you know what else they don't respect?
Yeah.
When you show some kind of fear of them. Like, if you show fear, like
black people,
like men. I'm talking about black men, like, especially.
Right.
Like, they don't respect you. Like, you can't be afraid. You can't, you know, you have to. Yeah, and they respect that more. But the Democrats, they don't act like that in front of them. You know, I'm telling you, they're the actual racists. They're the ones that what's the saying again?
Man.
What's the saying I always say? Low expectations.
Yeah, the soft racism of low expectations. Yeah, this is a good one.
But they're, you know, I'm kind of happy. They're kind of waking up. They're seeing the light. I think maybe in 20 years, we'll see a huge conservative.
I don't know, man. They're so
Republican
focused on the group thing, and it's like, you got to judge people on their individual character. Yeah, this guy with face tattoos might be a nice guy, but this one might actually be a psycho. You know, you got to be kind of careful. Maybe, I don't think face tattoos are necessarily a good sign, but it's not necessarily the end of the world. Like, they can be awesome guys, like Loza. But you've got to talk to the person and figure it out. You know?
Yeah.
You can't just sort of lump people all into this group of.
Now, people, please don't go to the ghetto in the middle of Chicago and try to communicate, because you're looking for trouble there. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit of discretion there is probably better. Yeah. I think the moral of this story is that they keep saying Trump's a racist because it's the same thing as it always is with them: projection.
Yes.
Psychological projection.
Yes.
The left are actual racists, and the right is an individualist group. Like, we're the kind of people who we care about the individual. And so, and I used to say this, I go, you know that Democrats are racist because when you say black person, they hear black.
Yes.
And when a black person hears black person, they hear person.
Yeah.
Right. And I think that's the difference. If you think of these people as people, then you're not like, you can criticize them.
But that's why white liberal lefties had to change it to African American, because they couldn't. It was internalized. That's how you say internalized racism on their part, like to use the word black. You know, so they were like, we have to change that. We can't use black.
Maybe.
That's white liberal people stuff that did that.
All that stuff is just frosting. You know what I mean? Like, what's the real substance of life is. It's tough. I think it's tough because it's much more difficult to get to know a person individually than it is to just like look at a whole group and like make assessments about the entire group. But Some black people are good, some black people are bad, some white people are good, some white people are bad. Same with the Cubans, same with the Germans, same with everybody. So that's the lesson for today. I know people, not everybody agrees with that, but that's right. That's genuinely what I think. I was raised that way, and that's how I think. I think the conservative way is the not racist way, and I think that's the better way.
Yes.
All right. Colorado Governor Harris surrogate. People say migrant surge lowered crime, but we need to fix the border crisis. Let's have a look at that.
And my source tonight is the Democratic governor of Colorado, Jared Polis. Great to have you, Governor. I'll get to what Trump said about you in a moment, but I do want to talk about the issues first and what your response is to the former president saying Aurora is not the same as it was a few months ago, that he will, quote, rescue it. I mean, does Aurora need to be rescued in your view?
Well, I mean, it's not the same in that it's safer than it's ever been. Crime is down 31% over the last 2 years.
Sure.
Oh, bad. Is one of the reasons I'm so excited about Kamala Harris, because she has a plan to fix the crisis on the border. What? Well, look, this is one of the reasons I'm so excited about Kamala Harris. She's a candidate, has a plan to solve the border crisis. She wants to have border security. Donald Trump has stood in the way of fixing our border every step of the way. Why did you make me read this nonsense?
No, he the point is he's saying that the illegal immigrants have brought crime down because they're less because so-called migrants are less
likely to commit crime, which is obviously false. Yeah,
and that's those statistics of crime going down. That's a lot. They're cooking the books. You know, they're not really.
Yeah, no, it's absolute nonsense.
Yeah.
This whole thing, the gaslighting is incredible on the left.
Yep.
But they've become
that's
so
what's
bad at
killing
it.
them. That's what's killing
What's
them.
shocking to me is they're not good at it. Gaslighting, for it to be gaslighting, it needs to work.
Yeah.
And it's not working.
Yeah, because
they've
we're
forgotten
seeing
how
with
to
our
do it.
eyes what's really going on, and they're telling us
they've
something
gone
else.
too far. They've gone too far to the point where they can't. All right, let's have a look at this real quick. I hope I'm able to serve the people in this regard. It is sorely needed. This is from Elon Musk.
Oh yeah,
And,
this would be the greatest thing. This
all
would
right,
be
let's
greater than all his accomplishments.
It's supposed to be the will of the people. It's supposed to be the government works for the people, and it's not that. It's some very bizarre, enormous amount of money that's being spent to make sure that the people in power continue to run things the exact same way. That's what I think they're really terrified about Trump.
I agree.
It's not necessarily even that he's a Republican. It's much more that he's a guy that is not going to play the game.
Yeah.
And then when he gets in there,
Does
he's
Joe
going
Rogan
to,
just
like,
watch my
one of the things
stuff?
he's talked about is having Elon come in and do some sort of a government efficiency agency.
Yes.
They're terrified of that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because it's not efficient.
Yeah.
You know, and he's going to come in with like that Tesla mindset. It's like you're working 16 hours a day and you're sleeping on the fucking couch. You're here to get some shit done. And you try applying that to government. That's, you know.
Yeah, he shaved. What did he shave? Like 80% of the staff off Twitter?
Oh, yeah.
When he got it?
Yeah. He was like, what the fuck are you people doing? Why do you have so many people working here doing nothing?
Yeah.
And he was right.
Yeah.
He was right. Especially if you don't want to censor people.
Yeah.
Like, it's interesting how people react to it, that he's ruined Twitter, he's destroyed Twitter. No, he's you could still block these crazy people if you want. You could still not see them if you want.
I mute a lot of people.
What he's allowed is everyone to talk.
Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you don't think that that's good, you're very short-sighted, and you don't understand human beings. Like, you cannot have human beings censored, because someone is going to be in power and they're going to take advantage of that censorship. They're not different than us. They're not these incredibly benevolent beings who just want everything to work out well. No, they're people.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are dirty.
Yes.
Dirty people.
Yes.
Dirty, corrupt people that went to Diddy parties.
Yes.
It's that control what they say, control what they think. You know.
Actually, you know what's really funny about that? So, you know, I've been lucky enough. I've met some very powerful people. I've met some very rich people in my life. You know, I worked in LA. I worked in, you know, I met people. I met some people. And I could tell you that the people that other people look up to and respect are not always very impressive. You know, and they're not always very good people. And once you learn that, I think rich, successful, famous people, all that, they become far less intimidating. I think when you're a kid, you naturally think there are people that are like that you want to impress in life. You really want to impress people, you know. And then once you meet the people that everybody else wants to impress, you realize, actually, I don't care. I don't really care to impress this person anymore. And once you get to that level, then you can do what we do, right? Where you can do a show to the whole world. And if some people think that you're crap, you know, whatever, it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you put it out there and like, you know, like I made my video that I just put out that that we keep talking about on the show today. And, you know, that's me acting. You know, I'm out there acting. And, you know, I directed this thing and I did the cinematography and all this kind of stuff. And I don't know if people are going to like it, but I put it out there anyway. And, you know, it's like my favorite thing I've done. And I'll say that openly. And that's kind of a, what do you call it? Like a vulnerable thing, because I made this piece of art. And people might hate it, you know, but at the end of the day, you got to realize like, this is what I want to do. I respect myself. I have some level of confidence that this is a good thing. And I put it out there and we'll see. And no, not everybody's going to like it. You know, it's funny actually, because I titled this on YouTube. I titled it, Why I Became a White Dude for Harris. And what's funny about that is obviously I'm not a white dude for obviously, but that's kind of the joke of the video. But a lot of people went in the comment section, not a lot, but enough, went into the comment section and wrote these nasty comments just based on the title. They obviously did not watch the video. They were just like, bro, you're an idiot. Blah, 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 blah. You're a paid whatever.
Oh, Lord.
Like, watch the video. What are you doing? Watch the video. It's obviously a joke. You didn't even know who I am. Like, why would you even write that? But that's kind of a risk. You know, you just.
But that's crazy. Like, I can't respect that. People saying things if they don't like read something or watch what before they actually comment on something.
Yeah.
It's kind of dumb.
But Joe Rogan's right. Like, people are just people, man. You gotta have free speech. You gotta have all this stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a free speech absolutist. Like, I don't care what you say. You should have the right to say it.
I do fear that this is becoming an Elon Musk fanboy podcast. Elon Musk and Donald Trump need to stop doing and saying awesome things.
Yeah.
So that
stop
we can
being
stop
badasses.
saying how. Stop being such badasses. I mean, what the hell, you guys? I feel like such a little fangirl. Oh, Elon Musk, you did something else awesome today. Oh,
yeah,
we love you. But yeah, we're kind of fangirls at this point.
Pretty much.
It's
Elon Musk and Trump are our Taylor Swift.
Yes. Swifties for Elon. All right. I think we're about done. You want me to post your thing?
Yes, please.
Less than a month ago. I cannot wait for this Marxist nonsense to be over. Well, at least for the next 4 years. Happy Columbus Day. # Democrats hate America. And you posted about the Indigenous Peoples Day, which is quite funny. If you're not following Jason T. Labrada, you must follow him. I'm going to go ahead and like this tweet. Because he's got very, very few followers. He's got 220, so he's growing. Oh, my brother follows you. That's kind of cool.
Yep.
I love that. And I'm gonna close this out. But one last time, we're gonna play a little bit of my new video. And the reason I'm gonna play it is just because, you know, I'm a total narcissist and it's my favorite thing I ever made. So let's go ahead and play some of this.
I used to be a Trump guy. I was MAGA all the way. But then Kamala started to make a lot of sense.
Under a Harris administration, what would the major changes be and what would stay the same?
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm obviously not Joe Biden, but also I'm not Donald Trump.
I realized for the first time that Kamala was right. She's not Joe Biden. And she's also not Trump. So I started to pay attention a little more. And the more I listened, the more I liked.
Does the U.S. have no sway over Prime Minister Netanyahu?
The work that we have done has resulted in a number of movements in that region by Israel that were very much prompted by or a result of many things, including our advocacy for what needs to happen in the region.
So profound. Kamala will say absolutely nothing, but she will express this nothingness as if it is the most profound thing anyone has ever said. And that, I think, is what it truly means to sound presidential.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
It's time to do what we've been doing, and that time is every day. Wow. But what really...
So I'll let you guys watch the rest of it on my YouTube channel or on X. And I think we can call it a wrap.
It was a long show.
I love when I can laugh at my, like, if I enjoy watching my own thing back, that's like the greatest thing in the world to me. I'm like,
such a narcissist.
Viral. Even I like it. I am. Well, it's not. I don't usually create awesome things. Most of the time, the things are kind of mediocre. So, when every once in a while, when I create something awesome, I'm like, yes.
I get it. Yeah, I agree with you.
All right, man. I'm gonna have to go to Florida at some point, and we're gonna have to make something together.
Yes. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm ready.
All right, go hunting with Half Power, and we'll chat next time. We'll chat on
Half
Thursday.
Hour. Hit me up. I'm
this
ready.
Live stream was way too long. I apologize for that, folks. Anyway, remember, it is not that all liberal friends are ignorant. It's just they know so much that is not so. We will see you next time.